Good morning, just about, almost good afternoon. Welcome back to another live stream. This is, of course, the Game Week 10 live stream, and I have a feeling it could be an eventful one. It should be interesting regardless, so welcome. Hopefully be fairly relaxed. I don't have a massive amount of decisions to be made. I know there'll be a lot of talk about whether I show my decisions. We will be discussing that at some point, I'm sure. And yeah, just thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. But listen, we've got 2.5 hours till the deadline. So what I would advise is, as you're watching this little introductory part, get yourself a cup of tea, bacon sandwich, coffee, whatever you have in the morning. If you're in the evening, if you're in a different part of the world, then grab yourself some dinner, whatever it may be, and just sit back and relax. We've got plenty of time, so you don't need to rush through questions. We can sit back, relax, answer as many questions as possible, and hopefully do my job as a content creator, which is to give you the best possible advice. Not necessarily show you what I'm doing, but to give you the best possible advice for your team. So do say good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are in the world in the chat. And we'll move on to discussing some of your questions very soon. I've already seen some bets going on. Luke has said, I bet £100 he's wearing a Manchester United shirt. It's not. So, Luke, you can donate your £100 to charity. And then there's someone else who said, I bet £1,000 he's got a Manchester United away kit on with glasses. I've got the glasses, but no United kit. So you can let's say you can donate £500 to charity. There we go. Marcus has said, my money's on the sheepskin coat. No, I've fooled you all. I've fooled you all. Listen, two things, right? I'm very, very thick-skinned as a person. So when people think they're being insulting and abusive, I tend to take it quite well. I've already seen in the chat, there's a few comments that are pushing it. We do have moderators in the chat. If it's a joke, that's fine. Just try and be as respectful as possible. Don't keep going on about my team, right? I'm probably not going to show my transfers today, but please don't keep going on about that in the chat. All I would like is, if you can, to just focus on FPL. Ask me your FPL questions, and I'll give you the best possible advice. We'll go through some underlying data. We'll talk about transfer plans. I probably won't reveal my plans, but please just don't focus on that completely in this stream, okay? Good morning, Ross. 6 a.m. coffee in hand. That is commitment to the cause. I love to see it. Fan from Everest, Nepal. Nice to see you. Morning, Ross, Lancashire, Scotland. The backwards hat was nailed on. The backwards hat is always nailed on, let's be honest. I mean, I could get my big bald head out. If people want to see the big bald head, I could get the bald head out, but there we go. Yeah, let's play nice. Let's try and play nice, just so that we don't give the moderators too much to do, to be honest. Hi from Essex, Ross. I am originally myself from Essex, so good to see some people from Essex in the chat. Jim done now, FPL stream, perfect start to the day. That does sound like the perfect start to the day. I'd love to pretend I've been to the gym this morning, but I was too busy setting up the live stream and I didn't go to bed until late. I've been talking a lot of FPL. A lot of people have seen that I've been all over. I've done 2 videos on, obviously, from the Fantasy Football Hub channel. Also, we've done a live stream with FPL Focal as well. So it's been a pretty manic week, and I've been lecturing all week as well. So I've been lecturing all week. I've probably done about 13 or 14 hours of speaking on FPL. My throat is destroyed. My throat is absolutely destroyed. Cup of tea is a good tip. Yeah, go get a cup of tea. I'd quite like a cup of tea. If you can make me a cup of tea as well, that'd be fantastic. Thank you very much. Good morning from Sweden, Malaysia. I love how international these streams are. It's absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Syria in the chat. Cool. So, I guess. Wait, I've just seen there's a super chat, and then I'll very briefly discuss what the plans are for my team and my plans moving forward, and what I'm going to show and stuff like that. So, need an Isak replacement under 7 million. I've got Mitrovic already. Is Welbeck the best alternative? Would love Daka though, but minutes. I'm going to discuss that in quite a bit of detail in a second. So I'm going to come back to that. So I've seen the super chat. I'll definitely go through that. I've actually got a graphic made for that, and we'll go through it in a little bit of detail. So 2 seconds. So let me switch over to my team. So this isn't me showing what I'm doing, right? This is my team. I've still got 2 free transfers. I've done nothing from last week. So here's my opinion on this. And I'm going to try and not mix my words here and be as clear as possible. So with respect to the copying thing, I think it was massively blown out of proportion. So essentially what has happened is there are about 20 teams that are ranked exactly the same as me with the same points, almost exactly the same wildcard. And then there are about 12 or 13 teams which have had exactly the same team from game week 1 to game week 10. And they've made transfers at the same time of day. And they've even got, for example, like Salisu. So I would say that from 10.5 million managers now, there look like there are about 12 or 13 that are directly copying my team. It could be that one or two of them maybe were just making identical moves each week. But likely, let's say that there are 12 or 13. I think that is being blown out of proportion massively, to be honest. Now, I think people are missing the point slightly. And people are saying, I don't understand why content creators are complaining about people copying. I'm not complaining. Like, to be honest, if there wasn't mini leagues and people weren't upset about people being in, I don't really care. Like, I'm doing my own thing. I'm focusing on my team. I try and give you the best advice, and I like showing you my moves because I think it gives you some insight into what I'm thinking every week. The issue that has arisen with this is that there are people in mini leagues and cash leagues, which, by the way, are banned by FPL. So there are people in cash leagues that are winning those cash leagues because they're copying my team. And I understand that must be very frustrating. So I suppose my major issue with this is I don't think that it makes sense for only me to hide my team because I've got a good rank. Because I guess my point is, for example, let's use FPL Harry as an example. FPL Harry is an elite FPL manager. He's had 2 very good seasons before this one. And Harry is ranked 20k. I guarantee there are probably more managers copying Harry than there are copying me. Harry's ranked 20k. I'm ranked 500th. Let's say Harry has a couple of really good weeks and continues to show his team. And I have a really bad couple of weeks and I start hiding my transfers. At what point do we say right now Harry has to hide his transfers? And for example, let's talk FPL, Andy. Andy's a brilliant FPL manager, like an exceptional FPL manager. He's not had the best start to the season. What happens if, obviously, he does hide some of his transfers now, but let's say loads of people start copying Andy and he brings up 300 managers. I guess my point is that I think this is a conversation to be had across all content creation about copying, as opposed to it being a situation where only if you have a good rank do you hide your transfers. So for those people that are in mini leagues and for those people that are upset, I probably will cover up a few transfers. I probably will for my unlimited transfers over the World Cup. Remember, in game week 16 to 17, I'll probably hide on my deadline stream 3 or 4 of my picks. However, I don't think it should be just me doing that. And I think Andy has set a good precedent with the fact that he's been covering up some of his picks. But what you have to realize as content creators is 2 things. Number 1, I love sharing. I really want to discuss because I don't know what I'm doing this week. I would love to sit here and discuss with the chat what I'm doing. I genuinely really do feel like I get a lot of help from you guys. It's nice to see loads of different opinions. I feel like now I can't sit here and discuss my team with you because people will be like, well, you're telling us what you're doing. So I've now got to make my decisions completely separate to the chat. And it makes the streams a bit difficult because I can discuss some possibilities, but I can't make it very clear which way I'm leaning. So I dislike that. And the second thing, and this is completely selfish, is that team selections and transfer plans, this is the best content to watch. This is the thing that people like watching. They like watching your thought process. And again, I can do what I do sometimes, which is say I'm going to go for one of A, B, C, or D. But I do like explaining what I'm leaning towards. And I say, let me know in the comments, like, what are you guys thinking about my favorite plan? So I guess at the end of the day, my point is I don't really want to be hiding transfers. I want to tell you exactly what I'm doing, but I understand it's frustrating for people that there are 12 to 13 people that are copying me. So I'm not going to talk about it much more. I don't want this stream to become completely focused on the copying element. I know so many of you have been super supportive and you've just said, continue doing what you're doing, Ross. You're smashing it. Continue making good content. Continue showing us and just let the idiots that are copying do their thing. And I appreciate that, but I do acknowledge it's frustrating for some. So today, I'm probably not going to show you what I'm doing. Not that I think it will be that exciting anyway. And maybe just at random intervals, every 3 or 4 weeks, maybe I'll just hide the odd transfer. But I'm not going to be hiding my team every single week and not discussing what I'm doing because that just doesn't make sense for me, I don't think. So there we go. I didn't look at the chat deliberately there. I don't know if I was getting abused or people were agreeing. I've deliberately not looked at the chat. Okay, I think most people are happy with that. And again, I don't want to make the entire stream purely about that. I'm going to focus mainly on your questions because, to be honest, the stream is mainly about you guys anyway. Like it's not really my team. I'm trying to help as many of you as possible in the chat. So there we go. I do appreciate all of the support though. By the way, just quick shout out to today's sponsor. Today's stream is sponsored by the like button and the subscribe button. So we've got 2 sponsors today. If you could like and subscribe, I would massively appreciate that. It's completely free. Just scroll down, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and that's that. There isn't actually a sponsor for today's stream. It is just, I would appreciate some support with some liking and subscribing. So there we go. Right. So what I am going to do, very briefly, thank you very much. I am seeing all of these kind words, by the way. Let me just get that super chat that I missed. From Nick. Thank you very much, Nick. He says, trying to stay strong for the Game Week 13 wildcard. I had neither James nor Zaha. Did Emerson and Salah to James and Zaha for a -4. Could have done Trent and Aaronson instead. Is it a mistake? No, I really like that. I think Trent and Aaronson are fine. I think Salah's obviously not himself at the moment. I think James and Zaha are excellent. So I think in general, I really like that, Nick. And to be honest, if I hadn't played my wildcard, I fully agree. Best time to play the wildcard, stay strong, is Game Week 13 for sure. For sure. So let's discuss. Yeah, someone's just said, as long as you don't change the way your videos are done, we don't care. I can promise you my videos will not change. So I'll still have exactly the same content coming out. And my team selection video will be the same as well. In my team selection video, all I'll be doing is, I always do anyway, because I haven't made my decisions at that point. So I tend to just say, I'm going to be making one of these moves. The only thing that will change slightly is I might not be making live transfers on the deadline stream. But I don't think you guys come here. Most of you probably don't come here to watch me make live transfers. You come here for hopefully some entertainment and some advice as well. So there we go. That will be the last time I discuss that. If anyone's in the chat asking about me showing my team, just tell them to watch the start of the stream and say that Raptor at the start of the stream explains that all. So, what I could do with my team, I'll give you all of the options again. I'm going to try and put my poker face on as to what I'm currently leaning towards. I've got a few different options with my team, right? I've got 2 free transfers, 0 in the bank. All of those copycats out there, these are the things you can do with your team if you want to. Pope down to a cheaper keeper, that rhymes, such as a Gaeta or a Pickford. That would give me 0.7 in the bank. And to be honest, I don't think the fixtures are fantastic for double Newcastle defence. I think this week, obviously, people have got Tony. There's a good chance he scores. They've got United away, Tottenham away in there, Chelsea at home in 16. I wouldn't mind jumping off the double Newcastle defence. So that is option 1, is Pope down to a cheaper keeper. Option 2 is Salisu to another defender. So, like, let's say like a Justin or a Mings. The reason for that is just Salisu's not that great. I'm not sure that I'd massively trust the Leicester defence, but it is quite a nice run of fixtures up until the World Cup. And then Mings is great for the same reason. Obviously, in my specific situation, I've only got 4.4. So there's the thing is, I think it would be very obvious. If I had any money in the bank, I'd do Salisu to like a Webster or a Dunk. I think that's a really nice transfer, but I don't. And I actually still like Salisu for Game Week 12. Remember, Game Week 12 is the one I wanted him for, and he's got Bournemouth. So I might just keep Salisu. The next option is I do decide to sell Mitrovic. And let's say I go for like a Solanke or an Edouard. I could then do Martinelli up to Zaha. I think I've got exactly the money in the bank to make that move. Yeah, so that's the next option, is that I do either Solanke or Edouard and then Zaha in for Martinelli. I don't mind that as a set of moves. And then the final option is I burn a transfer like a massive alpha male. And I just say, listen, I'm ranked 5, 7, 8 in the world. Let's burn a transfer. I'm not going to do that. But I could burn a transfer. I did see someone make a really good point, by the way, that you could burn a transfer because if you're ranked at the end of the season on points, I believe it goes to the amount of transfers you've made and then it goes to team ID. So if you make... I've just seen, one sec. If you make less transfers, you could get a slightly better rank, which could be awesome. Right, I've missed a couple of super chats. Apologies. The chat's moving quite quickly. Obviously, there's a few people in the chat, so apologies. Right, Luke, I have KDB, Martinelli, Zaha, and Maddison up front, Haaland, Tony, and Mitrovic. Do I downgrade KDB to Foden? My bench is weak. Andreas, Sofau, Salisu. No, Luke, I don't think you need to do that this week. Especially because they're playing Southampton. But I think maybe game week 11 or 12, you could do that. I don't think you need to this week. I think just have Andreas coming on for Mitrovic is fine. I'm not sure that you need to make that move this week. But yeah, in general, this is the thing that I've said with 2 premiums at the moment. You're captain Haaland every week. I think there's a really strong chance from game week 13 onwards that I actually go for a 1 premium draft. Because if you're captain Haaland every week, the value in premiums is actually the fact that you can captain them. Is it worth paying the extra for Salah instead of Diaz, or for De Bruyne instead of Foden, or even for a Kane ahead of someone like a Maddison or Zaha? For me, it maybe doesn't make as much sense to have a second premium at the moment when you're going to captain Haaland every week. And if for some reason Haaland gets injured, you switch him out for a Kane. And if for some reason Haaland, we know he's going to miss out, in a single week, you could just go for a slightly different captaincy option, such as a Maddison and Zaha. So I don't dislike a 1 premium draft. So yeah, I would be tempted, Luke, but maybe this isn't the week to do that. I don't think. Dave the Dave Man says, would you do Jesus for Wilson and Martinelli for Zaha? Depends what your Game Week 12 team's looking like. Obviously, that looks good for the next few, but from 13 onwards, I'm looking at having both Jesus and Martinelli. So I think what you're doing there is you're making your team better for Game Week 10 and Game Week 11 and Game Week 12, but you're making your team weaker for Game Week 13 onwards. So you need to really think about what your strategy is over the next few weeks, I guess. But yeah, I like those moves. I've just seen a load of people talking about Gahey's injured, but I don't know if that's the chat trolling. I saw Marcus say it. Marcus, where have you seen that? I'll get the latest news. Don't worry. I'll have a look on Twitter in a second. Yeah. Sorry. Right. Hazel Hunt says transfer to Burn. Transfer to Burn. Oh, so foul to Mings, Dallo, Gahey, 4.5. Well, I would have said Gahey, but I don't know why loads of people are saying I think he's fine. I haven't seen anything yet. If Gahey's fine, then Gahey. If not, then Mings and then Dallo. I just don't like the fixtures for Manchester United. I think Dallo's a fantastic option. The fixtures just put me off slightly, I think. Gahey's not been pictured in training. That's frustrating. Okay, thank you very much for letting me know that. Let me take a quick look if I can see anything on Twitter to give us anything further. I didn't see anything on that yesterday, unless that's popped up this morning. Very interesting. This is why we start streaming so far before the deadline, because then we don't have to worry at all about this stuff. We can relax and look for some news. Mark Gahey's one of the most transferred in defenders this week, so that would be interesting if he is out. I wouldn't pay any attention to it unless we get something concrete. Unless we get something concrete, I wouldn't pay too much attention. By the way, if you are enjoying the stream, please do drop a like, please do subscribe. I'm not going to keep going on, but if you drop a like on the stream, it basically pushes the stream out to other people. So if YouTube see you like the stream, YouTube will say, hang on a second, people are enjoying the stream. And then they basically put this stream on other people's sort of homepage. So if you could just take 2 seconds, if you're watching this and enjoying it, to drop a like, it pushes the stream out to others, and it really, really supports the channel. And it's free to do as well. I don't get any extra money for people liking the stream, by the way. It just helps to push it out to others, basically. Has Raptor said anything about Mitrovic yet? No, let's chat Mitrovic. Let's chat Mitrovic. Let's do it. Cool. So, Mitrovic-wise, basically, here are the quotes. By the way, if you need someone to follow for injury updates and press conference stuff, Colm is absolutely unbelievable. So it's COLM, capital V, and then Hayes. He compiles literally, and what I like about Colms is their full quotes. So he doesn't just chuck like half quotes in and summarize. He puts that, like, he basically types out every press conference. So it's really, really helpful. So what Silva said is, let's go to where's the first one? Right, here's the first one. So Silva said, it's the injury he got from the first game with the national team. So the reason Mitrovic had the ice on the foot after game week 9 was it's the injury he got from the first game with the national team. And then he went on to say, it's a kick in his foot, damaged a little bit of his foot. Of course, he played the second game again in the international break. He played 90 minutes. And then he's, of course, played 90 minutes in game week 9 as well. He said, we are managing. We are doing some treatment with him to get him ready as quick as we can. It's a ligament injury in his foot. That's not ideal. It's worth noting, though, if anyone watched game week 39, I got a ligament injury in my foot. In a foot, it's very, very different to like an ankle or a knee. The ligaments are much smaller and they heal a lot quicker. So it could just be like a bruised or damaged ligament. It doesn't necessarily mean it's like a strain or a tear. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. And then he said he was outside doing some individual work this morning, which is Friday. Not at all a doubt for the World Cup. And then the final thing he said is, it's not serious. Let's see if he can be ready for Sunday. And then someone basically, the presenter asked, or the journalist asked, well, is he a doubt for the World Cup? And he said, well, if I'm saying he's fine, he could be fine for West Ham, then of course he'll be ready for the World Cup. So like, stop being an idiot, basically. And then this was the really confusing quote here, this bottom one. He said, he will be ready for Bournemouth for sure We hope. But Andy, Let's Talk FPL, posted the video, and I think the we hope was just chucked on as like, we really do need him to be ready. So my take on this, and take it with a pinch of salt because it's an interpretation, is I think Mitrovic will miss this weekend, and I think he will be back for Bournemouth. I think if you're keeping Mitrovic, I would lean towards starting him, because I think if he's fit, he plays, and if he's not fit, he doesn't play at all. But obviously, if you've got concerns that he starts on the bench and comes on for 20, 30 minutes, then maybe you bench him. And I would say if you're selling him, just be wary that he could be back for Bournemouth. But again, you've got that. It's maybe a slightly more aggressive move to sell Mitrovic this week, because most people are going to have Mitrovic on the bench this week as a result. So you could bring in like a Callum Wilson or a strong, like a Danny Welbeck or someone like that to replace him, and that could be a really decent option this week. So it's completely up to you what you plan on doing with your team, I guess. But that's basically the news that we've got. All right, let's catch up on some of these super chats. FPL Focals in the chat, I've just seen it. Listening in the car en route to my mate's wedding. Thank you very much for being here, mate. I appreciate it. And also, loved doing the live stream last night. If any of you tuned in to the live stream with myself and Focal, let us know in the chat. Absolutely loved every second of that. It was really good. Right, sorry, 2 seconds. The chat is moving much quicker than I'm used to. No swearing in the chat, please. Yeah, please try and keep it as respectful as possible if you can. I do appreciate that, just to make the mods' life a bit easier. Trossard for Salah and Martial or Wilson for Mitrovic. They're two moves that I wouldn't personally do. I would probably be looking to keep Salah. I'd probably be looking to keep Mitrovic unless you really want to attack it. But I do love Trossard and Wilson. I think they're two of my top transfers in this week. So, yes, I like it if you want to be aggressive. But I think Salah and Mitro are both fine to keep as well. My motto this season has been to do as little with my team as possible. So I would always err on the side of doing nothing and just letting your team roll out if you're happy with it. But I like both of those moves, Ellie. Isak replacement with no money in the bank with 2 free transfers. I'm going to discuss that in 2 seconds, so thank you for the super chat. I transferred Mitrovic to Martial as a fun punt due to the injury. Nice. Now the buyer's remorse has kicked in. What's the magnitude of my error? When Martial's fit, he's one of the best strikers in the Premier League at what he does, which is fantastic hold-up play, great movement, and also linking up the attack. He will score goals as well. The issue is that he can't tend to string a few games together, and I think Ten Hag might not want to risk him too much and might maybe bench him every second or third game. So I think he's fine. Just bear in mind the fixtures aren't great, and he's a bit of a rotation risk. But listen, as a Manchester United fan, I love Martial. I absolutely love him. Right, so because we've had 2 super chats about Mitrovic replacements, let's do that. I've just seen, hey Ross, 67k in the world, great start. Did Kane's Aubameyang, Haaland, Kane's Aubameyang, that's an aggressive transfer for sure. Haaland captain, rolling the other transfer, wanted to be a bit aggressive. Yeah, I really like those moves, mate. Good stuff. Let's move over to, what slide is it that I want? This one. There we go. So, striker replacements, if you're looking at replacing one of maybe Isak or Mitrovic, I've left Mitrovic in there. This is just to show you sort of how good he is, I guess, and to just give you a comparison point when you're looking at some of sort of the other options available. Sofal to Mings or bank it for 2 transfers. If you need them this week, I would do it, because I think there's a good chance Sofal misses out again, and I like Mings, but if you don't need to play him this week, I would just roll the transfer and have two free transfers next week. So, basically, I don't like any of them apart from Wilson. I think Wilson's the standout option if you're looking at budget strikers. I suppose outside of that, if I were to move for someone sort of below the Mitrovic and Isak price, I would probably be looking towards Welbeck or Solanke boringly, right? The reason for both is that they both tend to be so far 90-minute men. Their data's really actually quite decent for Welbeck. Solanke's on penalties and nailed with nice fixtures. I feel like Welbeck's the better striker with better data, playing in a better attack. But Solanke has penalties, is more nailed, and has better fixtures. So if you're playing the fixtures, I like Solanke. If you're playing the sort of data and the teams, I prefer Welbeck. A lot of people are talking about Scamacca and Antonio, and a lot of people are talking about Edouard or Mateta. They're all such rotation risks. I don't know who will start out of Scamacca and Antonio, and I don't know who will start out of Edouard and Mateta. So for me, that's why there are no West Ham options. That's why there are no Palace options. And the other issue you face is even if you think you've nailed down who's going to start, right? Because I've just looked down at the chat and 5 people have all just said Skamaka's got to be on there. If you think you've nailed down that Skamaka's going to start, and you think you've nailed down that Edouard's going to start, well, almost definitely they're not going to get 90 minutes. They're going to get, I reckon Skamaka will get 60 to 70, and then Antonio will come on. And Edouard, we've seen Edouard's minutes this season. Let me show you, actually, in case you're unaware of Edouard's minutes. Bang. Right, so let's firstly go for Edouard's minutes, right? Oh, let's spell correctly, Raptor. So he's 57, 27, 69, 66, 36, 27, 83. So apart from last week when he played 83, which you might say is a good sign that he'll continue to get a lot of minutes, the most minutes he's played this season is 69, and he's actually been benched on 3 separate occasions. That doesn't fill me with confidence. And then Mateta's basically the reverse, right? Mateta tends to either come on or come off for Edouard. So Mateta's has been 32, 20, 16, 53, 62, 6. So I don't like any of the Palace attackers outside Zaha for that reason. And then it's a similar sort of situation with Skamaka, right? 33, 21, 28, 64, misses 2, 20 minutes, 65 minutes. Yes, he looks good at the moment, but is he going to displace Antonio? And then you could say, well, do I want to go for Antonio then? You face a similar issue with Antonio. He's only got 90 minutes once. So when we go back to those sort of stats, right? Per 90, if they're not even getting 90 minutes, and I think Skamaka's data is like 0.13 expected goal involvement per 90. If they're only getting 60 minutes, their stats aren't as good. And I think people underestimate how valuable it is to have a player that is playing 90 minutes every week. So for me, that's why Skamaka, Antonio, and Edouard aren't on there as options. So realistically, it's Callum Wilson. Keep Mitrovic. Or if you want to go for a cheaper option, I would probably lean towards Welbeck or Solanke. Probably. What do we think, chat? Do you think I'm justified in saying no to Skamaka and Edouard, or do you think it's worth the risk potentially? I mean, it is an interesting discussion to be had. It is an interesting discussion. Just get the back there. So, sorry, I just missed a few super chats in there. Andreas and Mitrovic to Trossard and Skamaka. So same sort of situation that I've said with Skamaka. I like the idea of Trossard and another striker, though. The thing is, I think Andreas and Mitrovic are fine to keep. So like, I wouldn't be selling Andreas and Mitrovic unless you need to. So unless you want to be aggressive with it. Those are 2 very aggressive moves. I don't dislike those at all, Mateus. Polkit says, hi, Ross. Team is Fabianski, Trent, James, Trippier, Mohamed Salah, Maddison, Zaha, Tielemans, Tony, Mitrovic. Bench is Everson, Gahey, Nico, and Andreas. 0.4 million, 1 free transfer. What are your comments? I'd probably lean towards Rowland there. I don't think you've got any major issues. Strong first sub, decent bench. I would roll your transfer. I'd roll your transfer, Polkit. Luke says, should I bin Trent? Already got Cancelo, Trippier, and James. Yeah, I think there's definitely justification to bin Trent. I wouldn't have an issue if someone said they were binning Trent, especially if it allows you to get like an extra like Zaha or Maddison-esque player in there. So yeah, I don't have an issue with it. Liverpool just don't look particularly like to keep clean sheets. That being said, they did switch to the 4-4-2 in the Champions League. They looked better, and Klopp has said something along the lines of they basically need to defend their arse off. I think what he's suggesting is they're going to really focus on tightening up at the back. That being said, at his price, at the moment, he's not doing enough for me. The fixtures aren't great, for the next few at least. I wouldn't have an issue with selling Trent. I have Salah. Would you change to Kane? I have 2 free transfers. No, I would basically keep your premiums. I think if you've got Son or Kane, you keep them. If you've got Salah, you keep them. If you've got De Bruyne or Haaland, you keep them as well. Right, I've got no issue with that. Is James overrated? No, I think James is fantastic. Thoughts on Harvey Barnes? I like Harvey Barnes a lot. I still prefer Maddison, but yep. Is Justin a good choice? Yep, I like Justin a lot with the fixtures coming up, for sure. Why are people selling Perisic? His underlying stats are great. Do you agree that a haul is coming? Yeah, I wouldn't be selling Perisic at all. If we just switch to this, Worth noting, by the way, he has been wrong like the last 3 or 4 times, Paul O'Keefe. But Paul O'Keefe predicts the starting lineup for Liverpool. For Spurs. It was really weird though, right? Because the first 6 game weeks of the season, Paul O'Keefe got every player correct. And you might say that was easy, but like he was predicting like Kulusevski rotation. He was predicting like central midfield injuries and rotation, the centre backs. So it seems strange that he was correct for 6 weeks in a row and then he's just started getting it wrong. But he says it's a prediction. Anyway, that's what he's predicted as the starting lineup for Spurs. I think it's good for Perisic. Like, I think he's good at left back. I think he's probably slightly better for assist threat at right back, maybe better for goal threat at left back. But I think he's fine. Like, I think I definitely wouldn't be selling. I mean, I'm potentially even looking at Perisic in the future. The amount of minutes the man's played is actually quite exceptional. So if we just skip to look at his minutes, like I'm actually quite surprised. Like there have been a few issues, right? He's had a few of those early subs, but he started the majority of games, hasn't he? So 24-11, right? That was the start of the season. So since then, 75-73, right? Can bank the clean sheets in those games, which he did. 90 was obviously 6, then 54-70. So yes, he's had 1 sub before 60 minutes, and yes, he's been benched for 3. I wouldn't count the first 2 because obviously he'd just come to the team. So I think he's only been benched for 1 from the last like 6-7 fixtures, and he's only had 1 sub before 60 minutes. So I quite like Perisic as an option, especially with his attacking threat. I still think he's a great shout. What do you guys in the chat think? What do you think? What would you think about Perisic? Perisic owners in particular, are you looking to keep Perisic or? Interested in Cody/Tarkowski over the next few game weeks? Yes, I have looked at Tarkowski as a potential option for sure. How much is Cody? Cody's 4.9. I'd be all over Tark. I think Tark's got better goal threat. And Tarkowski is 4.4 million, right? The issue you've got with Tark is if you need him in the next few, I'm not really interested here. But Tarkowski for this run is really nice. So it depends when you need them. 12's not a bad fixture. But again, if you've already got like a Callum Wilson, there's a bit of a clash there. But I'm looking in really here. I could well bring in Tarkowski, yeah, for sure. I do like that as an option. Bro, any updates on Mitrovic? Only that we don't know if he's going to be fit. There's nothing since yesterday's press conference, unfortunately, guys. If I do get anything, then I'll be sure to let you know. I'll be sure to let you know. Corey says, Ramsdale, so you give me your team. What's your plans? Oh, these are transfer plans. Okay, Ramsdale, Martinelli, Andreas to Jesus, and Jesus to Pope, Zaha, Maddison, and Solanke / Welbeck, or Ramsdale, Martinelli, Jesus to Pope, Zaha, Watkins. I would go for the last one just because it's less transfers. I'm not big on that. That looks like it's going to be at least a -8. I would avoid, if possible, taking such a big hit if possible. So I would lean towards the latter. Got the same team except for 2 bench fodders and Zaha instead of Foden. With 2 free transfers, what do you think I should do? Considered Pope, Gaeta, and Mitrovic to Wilson / Martial. Yeah, it depends if you want to take Mitrovic out. If you do, then I like the idea of Pope down because I think you jump off double Newcastle defence, get a cheaper keeper, invest a bit more money into your attack. So yeah, I think your plan sounds really nice. I think trust your gut feeling on these things. I think like that sounds like a really bit sensible set of transfers. Just bear in mind, you are losing Mitrovic, who, after West Ham, has Bournemouth, Villa, Leeds, and Everton. That would be my only concern with anyone saying they're going to sell Mitrovic. I'm just going to take a second. This isn't a sponsor or anything. Just literally 2 seconds to there. Just say the voting for the Football Content Awards closes tomorrow. Right, so this will be the last time I mention it. Basically, if you've not yet seen, every single year there a Football Content Awards. And it's actually a really big event with some like pretty big content creators across the entirety of football. They've actually had like footballers, celebrities in the past go to it. So it's in November. It's basically an event where different content creators of different kinds, as you can see, best in fantasy football. There's like best new creators. There's best like women in fantasy football as well. So they're best women in football, I should say. There are loads of different categories, about 12 to 15 categories there. And basically, I have been nominated as a finalist in the creators category. So if you've got any value of my content over the season on YouTube, on Twitter, if you've enjoyed reading my book, The Mind Game as well, any content that I've ever created, If you've enjoyed it and you feel like you've got value from it, there is a link in the description. There's also a link in the pinned comment in the chat. So if you're in the chat now, you can click the link in the pinned comment, or you can click the link in the description. It takes like 2 seconds to vote. It's just a drop-down menu. I would massively appreciate you voting for me. It's completely free to do. It takes like 2 seconds to do. It would just be a nice bit of validation, I suppose, that what I'm doing is helpful for you guys. So yeah, massively appreciate that. There is also an editorial one there, so feel free to vote for your favorite editorial. And even if you don't fancy voting for me, definitely vote, because as content creators, we put so much time and effort into our content. We do appreciate just any sort of validation, I guess, that we can get as content creators. So there we go. That's the last thing I'll say on that. But I would appreciate if you guys could vote in the Football Content Awards. There we are. Wowza. I looked away for 2 seconds. Chat's gone crazy. Right. Would you go Perisic to Castagna to fund Bailey/Zaha or an alternative defender? I quite like that, to be fair. Like I said, I wouldn't sell Perisic, but I'm not big on Bailey, and I think getting Castagna and Zaha in sounds really nice. Yeah, I think that sounds like a really nice set of moves. Oh yeah, also vote for FPL Focal. I should have said. Let me go back there. Where is it? This one? Is that the one? Yeah. Focal is in his own category as the best new content creator. So it's not in the fantasy football one. He's in, I think it's like in the top right when you go in. He's got nominated in the best new content creator because he's only been creating content like 16, 17 months or something like that. So vote for Focal as well. I'm actually traveling up with Focal and Harry to the Football Content Awards. So FPL Harry and FPL Focal, we're going together as a trio, and that should be pretty fun. So yeah, vote for him as well. Start Pope or Ward? I'll be honest, I would start Ward personally, but I know that's probably not the answer that most people are looking for. And definitely Newcastle with a better defence. So take it with a pinch of salt. I would start Ward. Thank you to everyone saying that they voted. I really do appreciate you guys voting. I'm very, very grateful. Make sure to subscribe as well. How many subscribers are we off? 38,000. 200 subscribers from 38,000. Get subscribing. If you've not yet subscribed, loads of content. At least 4 pieces of content every single week. Every single week. Son to an £8 million mid. Already have Maddison, Zaha, 0.4 in the bank. I just wouldn't do that, Jack, personally. I don't hate it. I just don't think... I think Maddison and Zaha are the two to own. If you didn't own one of them, I'd be tempted. But if you already own them, I think they're the only two that... I like Bowen, I like Foden, but I don't think they're much better options than Son. So unless you need money in the bank to do that, I don't think I would. To be honest, I could see both Pope and Ward conceding. If you were to ask me, I think probably both will concede. So there we go. I think maybe Pope's the one just because he's playing for the better defence. Is Edouard a good cheap option? If he plays, he is, but I don't know that he's definitely going to play, to be honest. So I'm going to say no. But when he starts and when he plays, he's very, very good, Edouard. Is Emi Martinez not an option? Not for me. I don't trust the Villa defence that much, and I just think he's a bit expensive. Zaha or Maddison? This is a really good question, right? Let me run a poll. I'm going to ask you guys to try and be as non-biased as possible, right? Unbiased? I don't have to non-biased. Unbiased. If you owned neither, who would you prioritize buying? I'm going to chuck a poll in the chat, guys. If you owned neither of them, who would you prioritize buying? Do you know what? I'm just going to put 4 options in there. If you own none of them, who would you prioritize buying? I know there are other options, but these seem to be the talk of the town at the moment. So let's chuck that poll in the chat. Basically, out of Zaha, Maddison, Bowen, and Foden, if you own none, who would you prioritize buying? I'm interested to know your thoughts. I will tell you what I think in a minute because I don't want to skew the poll. I do have an opinion on that. And then Wilson or Watkins, I think I would go for Wilson, Pratik. So I think Wilson would be top of the list for me. Should I wildcard this week or wait till game week 12? I'd wildcard in 13. So I would like, well, it's basically, if you've not heard this term before, we say that you like dead end your team into a wildcard. So what you can do is go into game week 12. As long as you've not got loads of money tied up in them, you could sell like De Bruyne, Foden, Cancelo. Take a few punts in game week 12 and then wildcard them back in 13. So you dead end your team into that blank game week. You make it look pretty rubbish, but then you're going to wildcard out of it anyway. So if I still had my wildcard, unless your team's looking shocking for this week, I would try and get by the next couple. I would dead end into 12 and then I would wildcard for 13, which gives you a really strong wildcard team for 13, 14, 15, 16. And I probably will have a wildcard draft video for game week 13 when that game week swings around, of course. Would you take Castagna or Justin or anyone else? Yeah, I think they're both good options. Castagna's got the slightly better goal threat, but he's obviously slightly more expensive and slightly less nailed. But I think both are nailed. I think both have the opportunity for attacking threat. They're both very similar for bonus points. Take your pick. Take your pick. I think they're both fine. I think Mings is fine at that price as well. I think Salah's great at that price as well. Who else? I think Tarkovsky's fine as well if you're looking at that sort of price. So if you're looking at 4.4 and below, there are tons of decent options you got. Would you free hit? Yeah, free hit game week 12 is an interesting one because everything tells me no. However, if you're in a position where you've got like triple City, triple Arsenal, and you want to hold them, maybe you could justify it. My issue is free hit is so useful later on in the season. If you're new to FPL, the second half of the season can be an absolute minefield to try and negotiate. Navigate. And the free hit just comes in handy more than you could ever believe. So I would lean towards saying no. I wouldn't free hit in 12, but I don't hate it. I think it's probably been the best week to free hit thus far this season. I just think you'll regret it later on. And the other issue that I have is the fixtures, right? So fixtures in game week 12. What are we targeting with a free hit? And I do think there are some, but you'd probably be on triple Brighton. I don't hate that. Maybe like a Welbeck and a Trossard. It's not too bad. Palace Wolves. I'm not sure how I'd predict that game going, but you probably already own Zaha anyway, most of us. You might already own a defender. Bournemouth, Southampton, again. Do you back the Southampton defence? Do you back Solanke? Maybe you just don't have any. Chelsea, Brentford could be a decent game for Chelsea, so maybe you have a Sterling. Maybe go triple Liverpool, but do you trust Liverpool enough for that? Maybe it would allow you to get like Salah and Diaz in, or Salah and Jota, or Firmino, or Darwin. Newcastle, Everton. Again, I don't know how I would call that. I'm not sure I'd want to load up on City, Man United and Spurs players. Fulham, Villa, I'd struggle to call. And Leicester, most of us own the likes of Maddison, maybe a Justin or a Castagna anyway. Maybe like a Ward. So I feel like I don't know what the added value of a free hit is, apart from maybe like a couple more Brighton and Liverpool. And then obviously to make sure that we can keep all of our City and Arsenal players. So I would lean towards no, just for those reasons. But again, I don't hate it. I think there have been worse weeks to free hit, definitely, for sure. Louis or Lewis, I never know which way it is with that name. Louis or Lewis says, Trippier and Martinelli out for Gahey and Zaha in. I also have 3 City players and it allows me to field 11 for game week 12. I don't mind Trippier out. I just think Trippier and Martinelli are such great options. I don't like the look of that. But yeah, when you take into account fixtures, maybe. Only concern is that several people in the chat have told me that Gahey was not pictured in training. I've not looked at the pictures myself. I've not even seen that mentioned on Twitter. I've literally only seen it mentioned in the chat. So take it with a huge pinch. Take it with a bucket of salt, but maybe something to think about. Maybe look out on Twitter just in case we see anything before. Joe says, Pope or Raya? I have both in the squad already. Oh, it's a really tough one. I'd back the team at home and I'd back the better defence. So I would put Pope in goal and Raya on the bench. What about Tony Martial, Raptor? Yeah, I don't mind him. It's just my issue with Tony Martial is that his injury record's just so bad. And I just worry that Ten Hag won't want to risk him too much. And obviously, we've got Ronaldo just sat on the bench waiting to play the odd game. Alanga can play through the middle. Rashford can play through the middle. I like it if you're really feeling quite aggressive and punty, but if you're looking for a safer option, I don't necessarily love it. And the thing is, we've got Spurs in game week 12. I'm not saying that's a terrible fixture for us, but I think there are better strikers over the next few, unless you want to be quite aggressive with it. I love Anthony Martial. He's one of my favourite players. I've got an Anthony Martial Man United kit up in my wardrobe, so I love Martial. I'm not sure. Your team kit looks very similar to Wolves. I've tried matching the FPL Raptor logo. Like, if you look at the... Where is it? The Raptor logo. I've tried matching the colours as well as possible, but yeah, it doesn't look great. It doesn't look fantastic. Trossard or Bowen? I'd probably go Trossard, to be honest. I'd probably go Trossard. His data's much better, and he's got a lovely fixture in game week 12 against Forest, whereas Bowen's got Liverpool in 12. So yeah, if I'm ranking the midfielders at the moment, let me have a look what it says in the poll, by the way. 44% Maddison, 38% Zaha, 15% Foden, 3% Bowen. So I would almost agree. I would still place Zaha at the top. So I would say Zaha, Maddison, Foden, Trossard, Bowen. I love owning Bowen. It was a gut feeling, but the data's still not great. Even after 2 decent performances for him, the data's still not that strong. He's just played, I think it was 86 minutes on Thursday in the Europa Conference League. West Ham just aren't great. They've scored something like 5 goals this season. It was something ridiculous. I can't remember exactly, but West Ham don't score a lot of goals. I think there are better options than Bowen. I think you've missed that 14-pointer. I think you try and find the next Bowen. I know Trossard's just hauled as well, but yeah. So I would say Zaha, Maddison, Foden, Trossard, Bowen in that order. What other graphics do we have? I think I had some other interesting stuff. So we had strikers. We have KDB versus Salah. Ignore the prices. The prices have changed since I made the graphic, right? The prices have changed. So I think my general conclusion here was that I would keep the one that you own. If you own Kevin De Bruyne, you keep De Bruyne. If you own Salah, you keep Salah. The data's actually really not that bad for Salah. He's just obviously not finishing a lot of his chances. But as you can see here, his goal threat is higher than De Bruyne's. De Bruyne's just got such creativity, but his expected goals at 0.31. It's actually often lower than that as well. He doesn't get into the box a lot, 3.22 touches in the box per 90. So listen, De Bruyne, in my opinion, is the best player in the Premier League. And I think that by some distance, even better than Haaland. I think De Bruyne is arguably, in my opinion, top 3 players in world football. But you have to detach that from FPL. And whilst, again, I think he's second top point scorer in the league this season, I guess my concern with him is you're probably not going to captain De Bruyne ahead of Haaland. And if you're not, could you not just go for Foden, who's cheaper and will get, probably for his value, enough points to get close to De Bruyne? So that's my only issue there. The fact that I like Salah more for a couple of reasons. He plays 90 minutes every game. He's a better goal threat. And also, if you don't want to captain Haaland in a week, such as game week 12, because you've not got 2 players from the same team, you can captain Salah if you want to. So I know a lot of people really don't like Salah. I know a lot of people aren't massive fans of him. I know a lot of people have really been given stick to Let's Talk FPL for that reason. I don't think that's completely fair. I think the data would suggest that he's still a good option. I think, yes, he's expensive, but if you're going to go for a second premium, I don't hate it. So basically, if you've got De Bruyne, keep De Bruyne. If you've got Salah, keep Salah. If you've got Son and Kane, keep Son and Kane, basically. Super chat from Neil says, hey Ross, if you could swap Kane and Foden to KDB and a striker with 2 free transfers, would you do it? What about for a -4 hit? Looking at game weeks 10, 11, 12. I'll be honest, I really hate that, personally. But I understand why you want to do it. I don't see any reason why you would take out Kane and Foden. I think I'm very biased. I've got Kane and Foden. I don't see any massive reason to do that. I guess what you're saying is that KDB is a good option. You could get a striker in, but you've still got a player that blanks in game week 12, and that would be for a -4 hit. No, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of that at all. So I would lean towards no, sorry. Mr. Simply FPL was become a Rap Tier 2 member. Is that the official Mr. Simply FPL? I.e. Sam. If it is, welcome, mate. I really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. Still loving your content as well. I'm really sorry. I'm really struggling to keep up with everything that's going on in the chat. Redditor says, what do you think about selling Pope to Gaeta or Everson, Ward's second keeper? I don't want to burn a transfer. Honestly, I've been looking at Pope to Ward as one of my potential transfers. I may still make that move. I think it looks good. I think with the fixtures coming up, yeah, I really don't like that. I don't mind that. I think that's a really nice transfer to make. I wouldn't mind that at all. KDB to set up Haaland twice today. You read it here? Yeah, like, I would be surprised if KDB doesn't get 2 returns today. But I think if Foden starts, he's got that opportunity as well. And because you're never captaining KDB, even if he gets returns, if someone can get close to him for cheaper and you can use the money elsewhere, it might make sense to still do that. Jay asked, what's your plans for the Game Week 12 blank? Is it worth buying Bailey and selling Andreas? Who'll probably play instead of Mitrovic this week. I wouldn't buy Bailey. Bailey's potentially injured. Looks like he's injured. And also, he's just not very good. And also, when Villa play 2 up front, Bailey's on the bench. So, no, I wouldn't buy Bailey. I'm planning on rolling with 4 players blanking in 12. We'll look at that in a second. I'll probably only have 10 players in Game Week 12. I think that's absolutely fine. My voice is breaking from all the lecturing and speaking this week. What about taking a -4 for Grealish in, Martinelli out? I feel this game might be the one that Grealish explodes. I've got a feeling that's coming. I've got a feeling that one of these games, Grealish is just going to go absolutely mental. I don't like it for a -4 particularly, though. I still think Martinelli's fantastic. I mean, speaking of Mr. Simply FPL, Sam, like, he preaches this as well. Just Martinelli is just such good value. I just don't think you want to take out Martinelli. So if you're feeling super aggressive, fine. Outside of that, I'm not a massive fan of him. Ross Wheeler, a fellow Ross, asks, Ross, I have 1 free transfer, 0.1 million in the bank. My team is, okay, let's look at the team. I won't read it out. What do I do as Mitrovic and Bailey are injured? I've used my wildcard 2, overall rank 4.5 million. I think looking at your team, so you've got the issue that you've got 3 premiums. I think I was speaking to a member about this yesterday. I think you've got to be brave, and I think you've got to take out one of your premiums. You're not going to take out Haaland. I think you've probably got to be brave and do KDB to Foden or do Kane down to like a Wilson and then use that money to upgrade Bailey or Andreas or Mitrovic if you want to. That's what you've got to do because the 3 premium drafts just aren't working at the moment. The reason for that isn't because the premiums aren't good. And this is the mistake I think people are making with the 3 premium. Your issue with a 3 premium draft, or even I've seen a 4 premium draft, isn't that you have 3 premiums. It's that when you have 3 premiums, you miss out on Foden, Maddison, Bowen. Like, it's very rare that you will see a 3 premium draft with any more than 1 from Zaha, Maddison, Foden, Bowen, because you just can't afford it, or you've got to go really cheap in defense. So I think if you're on a 3 premium draft at the moment, you've probably got to suck it up and sell one of your premium assets just to allow you to get in the likes of a Zaha and a Maddison, I think. So if that was my team, I would do Kane down to Wilson or De Bruyne down to Foden, then I would probably do Bailey to Maddison. Sorry, just catching up with the chat. Trippier, James Dallow, Mark Gahey, Mings. Pick 3 starting. I would bench... Wowza. I would bench... Oh, that's a really tricky one. I'd probably bench Dallow and Gahey. I don't like that at all. That's just a really strong defense. You're going to probably have points on your bench either way, mate. Just trust your gut feeling on that. Literally all 5 of them are great. The only thing that I would say is don't bench James. So James is the only one, if you told me you were benching, I would disagree with. The rest, I can understand the justification. -4 for Cancelo, Andreas, Mitrovic to Chile, Foden and Archer. No, I don't like that. I don't like that personally. You're also causing issues for yourself in Game Week 12. You've still got a City player there, but you've then got Archer in. Archer doesn't play, of course. So Game Week 12, you've got 1 less player. I'm not a massive fan of that personally, especially for a -4. Selling Cancelo and Andreas and Mitrovic. Chilwell's a rotation risk. Archer doesn't play. I'm not a massive fan of that, Ollie, unfortunately. Do make sure that you subscribe, guys. if you're still watching this and you've not yet subscribed, we're also 28 likes away from 1,000 likes. So drop a like. Why not? We're only 47 subscribers away from 38,000. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please do. There are 4 pieces of content every single week, completely free, lots of detail, analytics. You can follow my team throughout the season as well without knowing exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, do please subscribe and like the stream. Solanke/Tony or Wilson for Mitrovic. I'm still leaning Wilson. I still think Wilson's the best Mitrovic replacement. We spoke about this already. Not that one. I still think Wilson's the standout option. I still think Wilson's the standout option as a striker, personally. I don't mind Tony. Tony's fine. It's just his stats aren't fantastic. Hey Ross, big fan, especially yesterday's psychology video. Is it worth taking a hit for Zaha and Mings instead of Gordon and Trent? Also to keep Mitrovic on the bench. I'm not sure about a hit for that. But yeah, I obviously massively prefer having Zaha in there if you can. I'm not sure about a hit. I don't mind it though. I don't mind it. Surprised you're not doing Mitrovic to Wilson, to be honest. I'm considering it for a -4. Yeah, we've spoken about this. So if I want to do Mitrovic to Wilson, again, if you didn't tune into the start of the stream, I'm not showing my transfers on this stream, just for a bit of controversy as well. If I want to do that, right, I've got to find 0.4. There are maybe a couple of ways to do it. The only way that I see that makes sense is like that. Right, so it would be Gaeta. It would be Gaeta and Wilson in for Pope and Mitrovic, which again I don't dislike that at all. I could even, like I said, I really don't care if people hate this. I think it's fine. I would go for Ward. With this run of fixtures, clean sheets are possible. We saw it in game week 9, right? I know they should have conceded realistically, but when you play teams like this, there are clean sheets in there. And it would also give me 0.7 in the bank. So if I do want Wilson, that will be how I get Wilson. I don't know if I'm going to get Wilson yet. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I can't do it for free, unfortunately. If I could do it for free, maybe. The issue is, again, I don't want to sell Mitrovic. Like, why would I want to sell Mitrovic before this run? Bournemouth, Villa, and Everton at home, right? 3 home fixtures against teams where you feel like you could target there, and Leeds away. And then game week 15, you can just sell him for the last couple of weeks before the World Cup. So yeah, at the moment, not probably planning on doing the Wilson move, but let's see. Let's see. Thanks, Ross. I have KDB and Mitro/Tony, and considering getting Kane and Foden for a -4. Wanted to see what you'd do for your team. I've already done Saka to Zaha. No, again, like, I know I just said don't sell Kane and Foden. I think they're great, but I also wouldn't sell Kane. If you've got KDB and a striker, or you've got Kane and Foden, like whichever way around you've got it. Because remember, we discussed this in a lot of detail. I think you just stick with your combo. I wouldn't be moving your combo around now. I don't mind KDB down to Foden and going for a 1 premium draft. I think that's quite nice. I wouldn't switch to Kane. I don't think now's the time to switch to Kane, personally. The Flying Naga says, okay, you've given me your team. 0.6 in the bank. Should I roll? I want to play aggressive to catch up. Yeah, I would roll, mate. I think your team looks fine. Like, I understand the desire to play aggressive. Like, I've always, in the past, been a very aggressive manager with my moves. I don't think you need to do that this week. I think your team looks absolutely fine. And all I think you're going to do is end up butchering your team for no reason. So, yeah, roll. I think roll. And then next week with 2 free transfers, you can be slightly more aggressive, I think. Hi, Ross. Would you sell Trent or Cancelo for Reece James this week? Wildcarding in game week 13. Yeah, I'd be tempted to sell Trent, and then I'd be tempted to maybe do Cancelo to Trent in game week 12. So I would maybe do Trent to James this week, and then Cancelo to Trent in 12 if you want Trent back. Yeah, I'd be tempted. And GGMU, yeah, big up my man. Yeah. I would probably do that. I'd probably sell Trent for James and then sell Cancelo for Trent in 12 if you want Trent for 12. I wouldn't be selling Cancelo this week. Looks far too good. Messiah says, would you play OTB? Who would you play? Oh, on the bench. Nico or Solanke? Solanke's a much better option than Nico Williams, in my opinion. So Solanke ahead of Nico Williams. Is Zaha for a -4 any good? Depends on your team, depends on who you're taking out, depends on your risk appetite. I would say, wherever possible, I don't like hits, but Zaha is the sort of player I wouldn't mind taking a hit for. Especially as, listen, you're going to want Zaha right up until the World Cup. So it's not like you're taking a hit for a player that you don't want. You're taking a hit for a player that you almost definitely will want until you play your unlimited transfers at the World Cup. So yeah, he's one of the very few players I would say is fine to take a hit if you want to. I have 2 free transfers right now with 1.2 in the bank. Can't find anything I want to do this game week. Do you burn the transfer? There'll be something that you can do. There'll be something like, for example, you look at my team, I don't really want to do anything. If I didn't have 2 free transfers, I would roll. But I could do Salisu. I could switch Pope to a cheaper keeper to give me money in the bank. I could do Mitrovic to another striker. I could do Martinelli to someone to be aggressive. I could, outside of that, maybe there's not that much. But you can see that there's always something you can do. If you really don't want to do anything, then yeah, burn the transfer. Don't feel forced to make a transfer. Hi, Ross. Loved your stream with Oscar yesterday. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sofal or Mitrovic, who to start? Mitrovic. I think there's a good chance Sofal doesn't start. And again, I'm hesitant to keep saying that because I'm not a West Ham fan. I don't know. I've just seen a few people with predicted 11s where Sofal's on the bench again. For what it's worth, I think he's a great defender and I think he should start. But yeah, there's a small chance that he doesn't start. By the way, on that poll, Maddison won with 43%, Zaha with 37%, Foden with 15%, and Bowen with 3%. So if you're looking for someone to bring in and you don't own any of them, the chat think that Maddison should be your priority. I would agree with that, but I would maybe just put Zaha ahead. But I think Maddison and Zaha at the moment need to be your priority transfers in. Ross, won't there be a post-deadline stream today? I'll stay streaming for maybe like 15 minutes to half an hour after the stream. We started slightly earlier today, of course. So yeah, I probably will stay streaming for a little bit, depending on how I'm feeling. It's been a long week for me. It's been a really long week. So we'll see. Have we got any other exciting things to show? Oh, Trossard. Let's have a Trossard chat. Actually, let's have a midfielder revival chat first. Let's discuss. This was from my GameWeek preview video, or my transfer targets video. This is, in my opinion, obviously the way that I would be looking at some of these players. So Zaha and Maddison, definitely the priorities. I think Foden is definitely ahead of Bowen for me. And then I think Diaz, if he gets minutes, is still a fantastic option. I think he's got a very similar role in the team at the moment to Salah, for obviously like 4 million cheaper. My slight issue with him is that if Liverpool don't play the 4-4-2 and they revert back to their 4-3-3, Jota can play on the left quite effectively. They've got Carvalho there as well. Whereas if they play a 4-4-2, I don't think I can imagine seeing Jota in that role. I think Diaz suits the role much better. So whilst Diaz plays slightly deeper, his minutes are slightly better. So I don't know. Maybe Diaz shouldn't have a star next to his name. But I definitely think Maddison, Zaha and Foden would be my top 3 priorities. With respect to Trossard, what do we think in the chat about Trossard? Is Trossard a player anyone's considering? You've got the fixtures there. Tottenham, Brentford, Forest, City, Chelsea, Wolves. You've got his underlying data from last season versus this season. What do we think? I have 2 free transfers with 0.5 million in the bank. What would you do Bernardo to Zaha, or should I transfer out Mitrovic for a striker around his price range? Oh yeah, I'd be all over Bernardo to Zaha. Listen, Bernardo Silva has been very weirdly consistent this season, like with returns. I think he's only blanked a few times, and he is a talented player. I think Zaha's a better option. So yeah, it's maybe slightly scary to take up Bernardo before Southampton at home, but I would go Bernardo to Zaha and roll the second free transfer. Yeah, that would be my move there. Are you starting Mitrovic? No comment. Starting Justin or Mitrovic? No comment. Listen, I think that, yeah, I think if I'm keeping Mitrovic, I'm starting Mitrovic. Let me say that. I'll say that. If I'm keeping Mitro, I'm starting Mitro. If I sell Mitro, then of course I'm not. I would just think that if he starts, he's still a fantastic option. If he doesn't start, I don't think they'll risk him off the bench. I just don't think he'll probably travel. I think if he travels, he starts, basically. That's only a gut feeling. Again, I don't know that for certain. Feel like we've missed the boat with Trossard, potentially. Maybe after Tottenham, but City and Chelsea in a row. I think the fixture difficulty rating is slightly misleading. I think if that Brentford fixture's green, it looks a lot better. Because I think Brentford and Forest over the next 3 is really nice. But yeah, City and Chelsea's not ideal. I do really like Trossard at 6.7 million or whatever he is. He might have gone up since then. I think he's a really nice option. What moves are you planning, or are you afraid of the copycats if there is that many? I've spoken about my moves already. I'm not going to reveal my exact transfer, even though it's probably not going to be that exciting, or transfers. I might use 2. I think that it's pretty obvious. This is the thing. If you are a true sort of fan of the channel and you watch my content and you genuinely listen to me every week, I guarantee that the people that know me well and know my content well will already know exactly what I'm doing with my transfers. It'll only be the people that literally tune into a deadline stream and just copy. Those are the people that won't know what I'm doing. But the people that truly enjoy my content and support the content will know, because you know my thought processes. I've spoken about all season what my strategy is with the game. I've spoken about all season the players that I like and what I look for in players. I guarantee, I mean, drop it in the chat what you think I'm doing this week. Have a guess at what you think my transfers will be if I switch back. Most people will know. I've got 2 free transfers and 0 million in the bank. Jay says, content is quality, more viewers than FPL, mate. Oh, nice. Didn't know that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think it's probably got a lot to do with my rank. I won't pretend that it's because I'm a fantastic content creator, but I do appreciate that, Jay. Thank you. Zaha or Barnes for the next 4? I have Maddison, but I back Leicester to score more goals. Zaha, Wolves and Everton after Leeds, Leicester, Palace. Better defence and need to score less. I would go Zaha still, mate. I do really like Barnes, but I just think Zaha's just. I'm so jealous of everyone that owns Zaha. I'm going to be honest. I'm very, very jealous. So I would still go Zaha, and he's on pens as well. Let's take a look at what people think I'm doing. What do we think I'm doing? You've definitely got Zaha in. Okay, people think I've transferred in Zaha. Bowen to Zaha. You're getting Solanke. Pope to Gaeta. Bringing in Zaha. Everyone thinks I'm bringing in Zaha. Interesting. Pope to Gaeta. You're doing Bowen to Zaha. Bowen and Mitrovic to Zaha and Wilson. Pope to Gaeta. These are interesting. They're interesting. Very interesting. Who to play, Zuma or Mitrovic? I'd still lean Mitrovic. If he doesn't play, then you get Zuma, and there's a good chance for a clean sheet if that happens. Zaha's stats in his last 3 are far worse than his first 3. I have him, and I'm not overly confident. I love to hear that, Marcus. Thank you. Appreciate that confidence. I want to hear that. Salisu out, Mings in, Haaland to Martial. I'll be all right. I'm going to tell you what I've done. Basically, I've moved on Haaland and I've brought in Che Adams. And he's got the armband. Why isn't FPL Focal streaming? FPL Focal is on the way to his friend's wedding. So Focal and I did a live stream last night. That was basically his deadline stream. So, I mean, feel free to go watch that now if you don't want to watch me. But yeah, we did a deadline stream last night, Focal and I. It actually was one of my favourite streams that I've done. It was just hilarious. I think the good thing is myself and Focal, and also FPL Harry as well, we're very close. We chat pretty much every day, Focal, Harry and I. And I think it makes streaming a lot easier because it's basically like chatting with your mate. If you jump on a stream with people you don't know, it feels a bit more formal. But yeah, it was a funny stream between Oscar and I. So yeah, he's on his way to his friend's wedding. I think getting married very soon. Honestly, I think it's pretty funny not showing my transfers, but it's not going to be every weekend. Listen, I don't think they'll be that exciting anyway. This is when you see the fact that I've like free hit or used my triple captain or something, and that I've captained like Cancelo rather than Haaland or something. Pope to Gaeta, Isak to 7.7 in the bank, Solanke, no. Yeah, Callum Wilson. It's easy. Pope to Gaeta, Isak to Callum Wilson. Nice and easy, Josh. Play Andreas/Nico this week, then transfer Mitrovic for Isak for Game Week 11, or -4, get Wilson for Isak, then Tony to Mitro Game Week 11. I would go for the second option there, mate, Paul. Wilson for Isak, then Tony to Mitrovic in Game Week 11. I think that sounds good. Oh, there you go. Someone's guessed it. Haaland to Diego Costa. There we go. There we go. I'm here for the fun, not to see your team, to be honest. I appreciate you saying that because, like I said, and I think that some people get this slightly mixed. Obviously, having a good rank helps my content. I'm not saying that I would have this many viewers here if my rank wasn't as good, but I don't think that people subscribe and like just for the rank. I think it's you've got to provide good content, good advice, entertainment. The videos have got to be well produced, good quality audio, good quality visuals. I think there's a lot more to FPL than literally just showing your team. So I'm hoping that it won't affect the viewership too much if I do decide to hide the odd transfer here and there. Great stream, Ross. Do you downgrade De Bruyne to Foden? It is my only way to have Zaha. I have 2 transfers and 1.2 in the bank. It's very brave to do, but I do think at some point that move makes sense just because Foden is getting close to De Bruyne. He's got better goal threat. Obviously, his creativity is nowhere near, but his expected goal involvement as an entirety is close to De Bruyne. And when you're probably never going to captain De Bruyne, going to Foden gives you 4 million to put elsewhere, which could be massive. So I think it's a move to make at some point. Whether you make it or not this week is a tricky one, because obviously it's a great fixture and De Bruyne is very well rested, as is Foden, to be fair. Sorry, guys, I'm still here. My camera just froze. It also froze whilst I was taking a sip of my drink. It wasn't a particularly attractive look. If you are new to the channel, by the way, it's normally after about 45 minutes, but my camera overheats and it just starts lagging. I just have to turn it on and off. Someone said, "Have you got a better camera?" I'm telling you, this is like a 500-600 pound camera. Like, I don't want to buy a new camera. It just, for some reason, with my PC at the moment, I don't know if it's the PC or if it's my camera, it just overheats, or if it's the wire. Maybe I can try a few different wires. It just overheats after a while. Would you bench boost with Raya, Mitrovic, Justin, and Mark Gahey? No, because there's a doubt if Mitrovic is fit. There's rumours that Gahey's not been pitched in training, although I haven't seen that myself. I just think you could be left with like 3 or 4 points there. I would say no. I think there's a good chance Newcastle score. I think Leicester defence isn't great, so Justin might not keep a clean sheet, and then the other 2 are risks. So probably no. Probably no. Ross out. I can't see you. The worst £600 camera so far. It's a fantastic camera. Like I don't think anyone's saying the quality's not good. It just, the thing is, do you have a capture card? Try to disconnect the battery. I've taken the battery out. Like, there is no battery in it. Not battery. There's no capture card in it. What am I talking about? I've tried all of the options. Basically, never fix the camera. It's so funny. It's not a webcam, right? It's not a webcam. It's not meant to be served as a webcam. It's a proper, what is it, like a mirrorless camera or whatever it's called? I forgot what they're called. It's a Sony ZV-1 if you want to look it up. It's a great camera, but it's a vlogging camera. It's not made for YouTube. So it's not made for like to plug into your laptop. So that's probably the reason for that. That's the camera if anyone wants to look it up. Pav, you've just dropped to £1 and you didn't give a message, but I'll try and look out for your message if I see it. Hello, Daddy Raptor. Good luck this game week. Thank you very much, Andrew. I appreciate that. Appreciate the super chat. What's your reasoning behind starting Mitrovic over Gahey? If Mitrovic starts, I would prefer him. If he doesn't, then I don't think he'll come on. There we go. Vlog Raptor confirmed. I would quite like to do some vlogs, but I don't know if I'm interesting enough to do vlogs, to be honest. I feel like I'm far too boring for that. You missed my super chat. Did I? Okay, I've just seen it, Marcus. Bailey out. Zaha or Trossard? I feel Zaha will blank. I would still go Zaha, but if you've got a feeling Zaha will blank, go Trossard. But yeah, I'd be Zaha 100 times out of 100. I think Zaha's... If I could bring in one player this week in one move, and it didn't involve me taking out a player I liked, then I would bring in Zaha. Gym vlog. Should I make a gym vlog? Just imagine myself recording myself in pure gym. No, I don't think I'm confident enough to do a gym vlog yet. Maybe at some point over the next couple of years, we'll start a channel where we do some more like vlog related stuff. When I said I'm not interesting enough to do vlogging, someone just said, "No, you're not." That's funny. I appreciate the honesty. Cucurella will start, to the guy that's asking. You think Cucurella will start? Interesting. So do you think you'll play a back five or a back four? Because my concern is if you play a back four, that means Chilwell doesn't start if Cucurella's starting. A day in the life of an FPL manager, that would be so boring. It's mainly just me sat here doing stuff. Obviously, I lecture as well. So it'd be me going to do lecturing, coming back, recording and editing a video. Ow. Oh, by the way, you know the football content awards that I was speaking about? These guys. I'm not going to ask you to vote again. So I'm going with FPL Harry and FPL Focal. So the three of us are going together to these awards. We're staying in the same hotel as well. I think it could be pretty fun. We're going to try and record some sort of content. I don't know if we're going to put out an official an official vlog, but we'll try and record content of some kind, either at the event or at the hotel or something, and it'll be quite funny. So if you guys want to see that, let us know, and we'll try and... I think we are in the same room. Yeah, I think it's like 3 single beds. It's going to be pretty funny. But we're there for 2 evenings. I think we're going to try and put together a meetup in Manchester, because it's in Manchester as well. So basically, we'll be in Manchester for a couple of days. We'll try and record some of that. I think it'll be quite funny. I've just subscribed. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, my man. Vlog the awards. Yeah, we'll try and vlog something. The thing is, I've never vlogged before, but I have a vlogging camera. It's got a stabilizer within it, so I could take this camera. Maybe. We'll think about it. When are you getting OnlyFans? Don't think anyone wants to see that particularly. Do your students ask you for FPL tips? I've been recognised by like 10 or 11 students. And we've spoken about FPL at the end of sort of the lectures and seminars. So yeah. I've not been recognised that many times. I've been lecturing 2 years, so I've only been recognised a handful of times. Either that or people are too shy to come up. I did have someone the other day that just messaged me, you looked good at the gym. I was like, that's a bit creepy. But no, again, these people just, they for some reason, people just don't come up and say hello. Like, if you see me out and about, by the way, just say hello. That's no issue. I don't buy it. Can I still vote, mate? Yeah, you can still vote. Yeah, you can still vote. It's tomorrow. The voting closes tomorrow. So if there's a link in the pinned in the chat and there's a link in the description. Yeah, voting closes tomorrow. I'd massively appreciate it. Definitely all 3 in a double bed. No, I hope it's 3 single beds. I think that's the plan. Sorry. Right, this is post deadline talk. We're supposed to do FPL. We're supposed to be doing FPL advice. Let me find the super chats that I've missed before people get upset. Priority: Zaha, Wilson, Martial, Watkins, Bowen, wildcard 13. I'd go in exactly the order you've just given them. I think you've listed that fine, Simran. I think Zaha, Wilson, Martial, Watkins, Bowen sounds like a good priority list to me. James in for Trent for a -4 worth it. I wouldn't take a -4 for that, no. I do really like Trent. I prefer him to James. A -4, though, when Trent's as good as he is over the ball. Like, yes, a clean sheet's not overly likely, I wouldn't say, against Arsenal. But he's... I don't know. If that was for free, I'd say yes. For a -4, I'm hesitant. What do you lecture about? I lecture in sports psychology. What county are you from? I'm from Essex, but I live in Nottingham. So if you see someone walking around in Nottingham that looks like me, it probably is me. I'd get all of my mates to subscribe to your OnlyFans. Consider it. Can you imagine? Are you a teacher? I'm a lecturer and a PhD student. So I study. This should not be done pre-deadline, but I study the role of virtual reality in elite football. So we're working with the Premier League club to implement virtual reality training, and I lecture in sports psychology. So basically, I'm interested in sports psychology, specifically the role of virtual reality in football. So no. So to the questions, no, I'm not full-time YouTube. I'm part-time YouTube. What do you think about a free hit in Game Week 12, allowing us to keep City and Arsenal players not losing value? Yeah, we spoke about this earlier, Pav. I don't dislike it. The issue is the free hit is so valuable later on in the season. But if you've got like 3 City, 3 Arsenal, and you don't want to sell any of them, I don't hate it. I just think that for me, it would be better utilised later on in the season. I'm from Surrey. I actually did my bachelor's degree in Surrey at Royal Holloway. So I've lived in Surrey for 3 years before. Bernardo to Foden or Mitrovic/Tony to Wilson. I like Bernardo to Foden. Again, in any given week, that could flop if Foden doesn't start or Bernardo smashes it, especially when they're from the same team. But I think generally Foden's a better option. But I also don't mind Mitrovic to Wilson. I wouldn't sell Tony this week because we know he's going to start. Wait, the OnlyFans account I subscribe to isn't you. That's just another bald man. I don't know what other bald man you're subscribing to in the cap, but there we go. Josh asked, bench boost with Pope, Trippier, Botman, Andreas. Well, the simple answer to that is, do you think Newcastle keep a clean sheet? If not, then no. If yes, then definitely. Because if they do, you're getting a minimum of about 20 points from your bench there. I would say no. I don't like backing on a bench boost triple defence. I would maybe try and start one of your Newcastle defenders, though. Try and get Trippier into your starting 11. I just think when you've got triple, if they do keep a clean sheet, that's going to be extremely painful, not only for your rank, but also for just your well-being to see that triple clean sheet on the bench. The way Forest are playing right now, it's as if they have their own virtual reality. Is that what you're doing, Ross? I'm not working with Forest. Again, I've said on previous live streams, I'm not actually allowed to say which Premier League club we're working with. But no, it's not Forest. I can say that, at least. Updates on your Tinder journey. We'll do that post-deadline. We'll do updates on Tinder. By the way, if you've not yet tuned into my live streams before, post-deadline, it gets ridiculously funny. We just talk about all sorts of stuff. The chat gets a bit outrageous. But yeah, post-deadline, we'll chat about all non-FPL stuff. Let's go back to FPL. Starting Mitrovic or Gahey. As you can see here, I would be starting Mitrovic. I just think when he starts, he's fantastic. Mitrovic hasn't travelled to the London Stadium today, FPL fella. Is that what he said? I thought it was like a joke, wasn't it? I saw someone just posted it and said it was a joke. Let's have a look. FPL fella's not got any sources, by the way. He's literally just an FPL manager. He's probably just making some sort of terrible joke that someone's misinterpreted. Oh, it's because the game's not today, is it? I was just looking at the fixtures thinking, oh, it's because the game's tomorrow. So that's why. So he's just telling a terrible joke. There you go. Let me see on Twitter if we've got any updated stuff. No, I can't see anything yet. If rumours come through just before the deadline that Haaland is benched, would you consider changing your captaincy? If I get solid information that he's benched, I would change the captaincy. I'd still start him. But it would need to be from someone like Sam Lee to change my captaincy off of Haaland. So I would lean towards saying no unless we get something proper. Will Simicast get me a hat-trick this week? I hope for you that you do get a hat-trick from Simicast, yeah. How long got till the deadline? We've got about an hour till the deadline, so still got plenty of time, to be honest. Is that a baseball cap you wear, and do you wear it with it back in front? Yeah, it's a back to front baseball cap. I guess you can't see because my chair's black. Here you go. This is the reason I don't wear it this way, because you can't see my face because my light's up there. I can get my big bald head out if people prefer. Wilson or Tony? I would go Callum Wilson probably. Start Mitrovic with Justin first sub or play Justin. I am leaning towards play Mitrovic and put a strong first sub in would be the way I would lean. Russell was asked, same 11 except Sinistera / Zaha for Bowen / Foden. Okay, I'm very jealous of your Zaha. But Patterson on the bench. 1 free transfer, 1.9 million in the bank. Sinistera to Foden or Trossard. Trossard gives 2 free transfers in game week 13. Oh, see, I love Foden for this week. I don't like Trossard for this week. But again, Trossard has looked good and he's got Forest in 12 and it gives you 2 free transfers. I would just about lean Trossard, but I do love Foden, and I'm very happy to own Foden. Just due to the risk, due to the extra free transfer, due to having a cheaper player in that spot, and due to the nice fixture in 12, when obviously Foden blanks, I'd lean Trossard. I would lean Trossard. Pope and Trippier or Ward and Trippier? I would go Ward and Trippier. Should I be patient with Son? I think I would maintain patience with Son, yeah. I think I would. Ward, Trippier, Cancelo, Trent, James, Souček, Martinelli, Foden, Kane, Jesus, Haaland. Wildcard 13. 2 free transfers. Need to shed Arsenal, City. Souček, Madders, Jesus. 6.7, Welbeck, better option. I would... Yeah, I think that sounds fine. I think I would, yeah. Madders and Welbeck sounds nice. I don't think you need to get rid of all of your Arsenal and City players now, especially the City players, as you've rightly sort of said. Because obviously you can sell them in 12, can't you? If you're wildcard in 13. But yeah, I think those moves sound nice, Dan. Solanke or Welbeck. Depends what you look for. Like I said, Welbeck's the better striker, playing in a better team with better data. But Solanke is more nailed on penalties with better fixtures. Am I really burning a free transfer? It's a bit of an ultimate sort of alpha male move, like I said. To say like, yeah, I've got 2 free transfers, don't even need to use one. I'm quite tempted to burn a transfer for that reason. It's pretty funny. Ward or Sanchez? I'd go Ward. I'd back the fixture. I would back the fixture. Luis Diaz to Foden. Already have Zaha, Maddison, Martinelli. I'd probably keep Diaz, but I don't mind that move. Triple captain Haaland? Yeah, what do we think about that? Triple captain Haaland, chat. Do we hate it? Do we not mind it, but would maybe not do it ourselves? What's our thought process behind triple captain Haaland? Josh says, add to bench boost question. I've got Ward, Gaeta, Zuma, and Zhao starting. Yeah, I guess I guess you could bench one of Zuma or Gahey, and then it becomes less of a trip. I don't know. I think it's a fine bench boost. I don't think it's as strong as you would get in a double game week, though. Is all I will say, Josh. But if you're feeling a bench boost, go for it. It could really chuck you up the ranks, couldn't it? Yeah, let's do a poll then. Let's do a poll. There we go. Bit of a weird poll, but triple captain Haaland. Love it, don't mind it, hate it. Let me know what you think of a triple captain on Haaland this week in game week 10, a single game week. How's Frosty doing? Frosty's fine. Frosty is unavailable this weekend, but will be sorely missed in the chat, of course. Zaha or Bowen, and thoughts on triple captain Haaland? Zaha and triple captain Haaland. We are doing a poll as we speak, but yeah, I think definitely Zaha ahead of Bowen for me. Thoughts on Cody for Everton starting? I think I prefer Tarkowski, to be honest, but if you're asking if he's going to start, yeah, I think he'll start. My prediction of what transfers you've made is that you haven't. I'm thinking back to some of your past videos and mindsets. There we go. Yeah, I think most people agree that you triple captain in a double game week. So at the moment, please keep voting in the chat, by the way. 17% are saying they love it. 46% don't mind it. So about half are saying, yes, fine. And then 37% hate it. So there we go. Most people are saying it's all right. Or they hate it. My personal view on it is triple captain is significantly better in a double game week. Like, let's take a look. I know FPL Focal put up a similar post earlier. If you take some of these games in combination, like you can imagine the haul that you could get. So yes, like imagine if it was game week 2 and 3. Let's say that was a double game week. You would have only got 11 points. Or if it was only 1 and 2, you would have only got 18 points in triple captaincy. But you can see if you can time it in a double game week, like if the double game week is game week 4 and game week 5, you would have got 34 points from Haaland for a 102 point triple captain. So I just think, looking at how good Haaland is, the City are going to have double game weeks later on in the season. That could be monstrous. If you get Haaland for a double game week and there are decent fixtures in there, it could be huge. So I would lean towards saying no to triple captain Haaland this week. But I don't hate it, for sure. We just had Sam become a member. Thank you very much, Sam. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate it. If you don't want to become a member of the channel, by the way, get like team advice, get entered into our chat. Directly above my head, there'll be something going around where basically if you click join and next to subscribe, you can do that. Or you can do it over on Patreon as well. So there are 2 ways to support the channel by becoming a member. I think you can actually do it within the chat as well. You can click like that little money button at the bottom, basically. Become a member that way. Who to bench, Justin or Mitrovic first on the bench? I would start Mitrovic, bench Justin first sub, would be the way I would approach it. Start Pope or Ward, playing Trippier as well. I would start Ward. I would start Ward myself. Best defender under 5 million. I was thinking Palace/Justin. Yeah, I would go Leicester defence or Palace defence. So yeah, I think you've nailed it on the head there. I don't mind it either way. I think you're absolutely fine either way there. I think Justin, Castagna are fine. I think Gakey, Anderson are fine. Take your pick. Whatever you're feeling, whatever way you're leaning. The Palace defence is slightly better than the Leicester defence, but I do like the Leicester fixtures, and they've maybe got slightly more attacking threat, the likes of Justin and Castagna, in comparison to a Palace defender. Zaha... Oh, missed that one. Zaha and Wilson in for Kane and Andreas from -4. Wilson could be any forward up to 8.5. I don't hate it, but again, a -4, if Kane gets a goal and some bonus and Andreas gets 2, let's say Kane gets a 9-pointer, Andreas gets 2, plus the -4, you need Zaha and Wilson to get you 15 points to match that -4, to pay back the -4. So what you're banking on is a haul from one or both of Zaha Wilson, and you need Kane and Andreas to not do much. So if you think that will happen, yeah. But this is the way I approach -4s. This is why I don't take a lot of hits, apart from at points last season, which made sense, is that you really need to expect the play that you're taking out to blank and the play you bring in to do something pretty crazy. So most of the time, I would lean towards no. Skamaka as a differential. I said Skamaka's fine. The issue is that he's not going to play 90 minutes pretty much ever. So you're going to get between 30 and 60 minutes from him in most games. And I'm just not a massive fan of that. Justin and Wilson to Sofal and Isak from -8. I assume you mean so foul. And, sorry, I assume you mean that super chat is so foul and Isak to Justin and Wilson. I don't hate it, but I do hate the -8. So it depends. Who are you starting this? If you need them to start, then yeah, I think that's fine. If you could start someone else and save that hit, I'd be tempted to do that. Hey Ross, love your content. Would you do Saka to Zaha? Yes, I would. Are you ever going to hide your team? Yeah, I'm probably not going to show my transfer on this stream. What transfer are you making? Who knows? Thoughts on Aubameyang? Ownership is ridiculously low. Looks like a great differential. I don't mind Alba. I suppose my issue is I don't actually like the Chelsea fixtures that much. Again, they're not terrible. I'm not saying I hate them, but they're certainly not the strongest fixtures. Let's go Aubameyang. Up to 9.1 million. Wolves at home is fine, but again, they have been pretty decent defensively. Let's see how they are. Obviously, they've sacked Bruno Lage, so maybe they're not as strong defensively. 2 away fixtures could be decent, but then United at home, Arsenal at home, Newcastle. This run's not great. I don't mind Aubameyang. When he plays, he tends to score goals. Like the first game he starts, he gets a goal and bonus points. So I do like him. And because Chelsea don't tend to score that many goals, I think he will get bonus points if he returns. And we know what he can do. And there's a decent chance he's on penalties as well. So I like Aubameyang, yeah. I don't think he's my favourite option. I'm probably not looking at him at the moment, but maybe post sort of game week 13, maybe I'll look if he looks good by then. Pope to Ward or Mitrovic to Solanke? I think I prefer Pope to Ward, Josh. Just about. Thoughts on squad rotation, minutes risks for teams playing in Europe, e.g. Liverpool playing 7 games in 20 days. Yeah, that is a slight worry. I'm glad you've highlighted that. I kind of forgot to mention that in the videos this week. Maybe we'll discuss it more in the videos next week. It is a real worry. It is a real worry. And especially for players such as, like, I guess, like a Diaz, maybe even a Foden. Like, that's maybe slightly more worrying. For players like Bowen, I'm maybe less concerned about because they're just so nailed in their teams. But yeah, especially for those rotation risks, it could be an issue. I think it's definitely going to be something we monitor. The issue is I really don't like selling players in the anticipation they get benched because sometimes they just don't. So I feel like it's, at the moment, I feel like it's something to monitor, not something to act on yet. Rather than burn the transfer, surely you would just make the keeper change to get off of double Newcastle defence. There's a chance I do that, yeah. There's a chance I do that. The thing is, I do still like the Newcastle defence. They are still a very strong defence. But yeah, there's a chance that I decide. I just don't know if Brentford at home is the fixture to do it for. I know obviously Leicester have Bournemouth away, but I'm unsure whether I'll be doing that. Rashford for Martinelli. I don't mind Rashford. I just don't like the Man United fixtures that much particularly. Foden as a captain, is it a good punt? I just don't think you should be punting on captaincy. I think you captain Haaland. But yes, if you want to punt, I don't mind that. Are you not worried about a Mitrovic 1-pointer? A little bit. I may end up benching Mitrovic. I haven't decided fully at this point. I'm going to hopefully look on Twitter and see if there's any updated news. Obviously, the issue is that the game's on Sunday, so we're not going to get any like travelling news or anything like that. Just seeing if there's anything on Twitter yet. I haven't seen any news. Yeah, nothing on Twitter yet with respect to early team news for any of the teams, to be honest. Let's see. I don't actually know what the 3 p.m. kickoffs are. I've been so focused on like just general stuff across. Let's go fixtures. The 3 p.m. fixtures are Bournemouth Leicester. So we've got Maddison. Chelsea Wolves, we've got James. City, so we've got triple City. double Newcastle, and then I've got Kane. Bloody hell! Most of my most of my players are playing on Saturday. Actually, the positive news is that our rank could go higher because most of our players play on Saturday. The ugly news is that Sunday could be painful. Like, I've got no Palace players potentially, no one from Arsenal, no one apart from Martinelli, no one from Liverpool, no one from Everton, Man United, and I've got no one in the Forest Villa game. So, like, I could shoot up a little bit for the 3 p.m s, then it's going to go and then just dive off a cliff. That overall points being higher than overall rank is just beautiful. It's something that will probably very rarely happen to me ever again. It's lovely to look at, though. Oh, camera. Go away, camera. I'm still here, don't worry. Gundogan to Zaha or Bowen? Zaha for me. Bowen out for Zaha. I prefer Zaha to Bowen, but I'm not sure it's worth selling Bowen for Zaha. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Who do you think that you don't own could hurt your rank? That's a really good question. Zaha. Jesus is still ridiculously highly owned. And then outside of that, Tony is still got quite high ownership. Let's have a look at the... Let's have a look at transfers. Alexa, cancel. Why is she popping off? What did I say that set her off? If we go on transfers, most transferred in this round, who are the players that everyone else is bringing in that I'm not? So Trippier, James, Saliba. Saliba's been brought in by 300,000 managers ahead of Liverpool and a blank in the next 3. That's madness. Right, Saliba. So maybe in that Arsenal Liverpool game could be painful, right? I don't have Jesus. I don't have Salah. I don't have Trent. I don't have Diaz. I don't have Saka. I don't have Saliba. So that game could be painful. Maybe Aston Villa defence is starting to maybe pile up a little bit with Mings, but unlikely. So clean sheets wise, I don't think there are any that will hurt me that much. Midfield wise, Trossard popping off could do damage. Oh, De Bruyne. Oh yeah, of course. De Bruyne is the big threat to my rank. So I just need Foden to get close to De Bruyne. I think if Foden gets close to De Bruyne, I'm pretty happy with that. So De Bruyne, Zaha, maybe Rashi. Rashi's got a reasonable ownership. And yeah, there are a few players that could damage my rank. Mainly probably the big two is Jesus and De Bruyne are the main two rank first. And maybe Zaha with the amount of people that have brought Zaha in this week. On the Green Arrow podcast, you said one of the reasons you're doing so well this season was jumping on players early. So why not Alba? Yeah, absolutely. But you've got to jump on players early that you think will do well, right? I'm not saying jump on any player early. I'm saying you need to trust your gut feeling of players that you think could do well over the next few and jump on them early. So yeah, if you've got a gut feeling about Alba, go for Alba. I had a gut feeling about Bowen, Maddison and Foden. I jumped on them early and it went well. I had a gut feeling about Pascal Gross, jumped on him early, that went well. So yeah, if your gut feeling is a certain player, go for it. I agree. I thoroughly agree. Is it worth to sell Pope for Gaeta? If you've got nothing else to do, I don't hate it. Best game week 12, cheap defender. Webster or Dunk, probably. Brighton defender against Forest. Brighton defender against Forest. Start Welbeck or Sofal? I'd start Welbeck. Bowen or Zaha? Again, Zaha's the most common question on this live stream. Zaha by some distance for me. Thoughts on Watkins for Mitrovic? I don't hate it. I think there are better moves potentially. Clive says, hi mate. Hi mate, good to see you. Would you prefer to have Cancelo and KDB or Foden and KDB? Probably Cancelo, but I think actually, I think Cancelo and Foden would be my favourite combination for how cheap they are. But yeah, I would probably still lean Cancelo at the moment, especially when he's playing at right back. I think he's great. Oh, God, that hurt. Cracked everywhere. What's your opinion? Kane for Jesus or Mads for Diaz? I prefer Maddison. I don't think you need to get Kane in for Jesus. Hi, mate. There's one in all of my mini leagues following your transfers from Game Week 1. He's number one in all those mini leagues and number one in my country right now. Yep, we've spoken about that already. We've addressed that earlier on the stream. So if you want to go back and watch, it was about 7 or 8 minutes into the stream we discussed all of that. Hi, Ross. Would you play Gaeta or Ward? That's incredibly difficult. I would just maybe lean Gaeta, but I could literally flip a coin on that. I think it's that close. I think Leicester have a poorer defence, but Bournemouth have a poorer attack. But I think Gaeta's a slightly better keeper than Ward. So I would lean, and it's at home. So I'd probably just lean Gaeta. But I think both could be clean sheets, both could concede. I think that's a really tricky decision, to be honest. I still haven't completely decided what I'm doing, to be honest. But this is the stage where it would be nice to discuss it. But then it would probably be too obvious. Would you play Ward or Mendy? Play Mendy, bench Ward, and then if Mendy doesn't play, then you get Ward anyway. Do you think Sofal will play? I've got no idea whether Vladimir Sofal will play or not. I have no idea. Apologies. I would like to give you a better answer than that, but I don't know. I can't decide who to pick between Leno or Ward this week. What are your thoughts? I would go Ward. I wouldn't put Leno in. My super chat didn't send the message. Can you see it above? Yeah. What about Gomez at City? 4.5 defending would be a cheap punt until the World Cup with Walker out. I don't like it. I think that Ake could quite easily fit in at left back in at least one of the games. Potentially even this week. I think Gomez is great, but I don't think he started in the Premier League for City yet. And I think there's a good chance that Ake could play there. So, again, I don't hate it, but I'm not a massive fan of it. Zaha or Trossard? Zaha. Zaha's top of my list. The one transfer this week that I would like to make is Zaha. I just don't have an easy route to Zaha. I have 7 million if I sell Mitrovic. So who should I buy? Probably. It's just they're just not great. Probably one of like a Welbeck or a Solanke. But again, they're not overly inspiring transfers. It's the same issue I face, that I don't want to sell Mitrovic if I can't go straight to Wilson. Foden or KDB? I think if you're not captaining KDB, then Foden plus 4 mil. If they were the same price, it's a different discussion to be had. But they're not. That 4 million could go a really long way. Is Wilson a good choice? Yeah, I think Wilson's a great choice. I have Pope and Gaeta. Who should I play? Gaeta I'd go for. Martinelli for Zaha and Pope for Ward. Yeah, that's a potential option if you want to. Hey Ross, love your content. What's your priority of Zaha and Bowen? My goodness. I genuinely have never seen a question asked as much as Zaha versus Bowen. It's definitely Zaha for me. And that'll be the final time. You can go back and watch the rest of the stream if you want my opinion on that. Zaha ahead of anyone in that midfield slot. Tony or Mitrovic? This week, Tony, because we don't know if Mitrovic will start. But I prefer Mitrovic. Can Crystal Palace keep a clean sheet? I think so. I think so. What is the Mitrovic update? We don't have one. He might be fine. He might be not. He might not be fine. I want to know if there's any truth to these rumours. I want to see if there's any more rumours about the Gahey situation, because I've literally only seen stuff on my... Nah, I reckon it must have just been our chat being weird then. It's really interesting. I can't see. It's literally just Marcus is the only person that's spotted it. Marcus, how do you know these things? Who was the Palace fan that pointed it out to you, by the way? I would put out a tweet about it, but I just haven't seen a great deal outside of what we've seen in this chat. Anderson or Zuma? Anderson. If he plays Anderson. Start Pope or Ward? I'd start Ward, but Pope's the better keeper playing for the better defence. And he's playing at home. I've just got a feeling Brentford could score. Oh, big stretch. What's happened to Gahey? There's just. You've heard on Andy's stream about Gahey as well. Basically, Marcus, one of our mods, and Marcus wouldn't spread stuff unless he's actually. He's been told by a Palace fan on Twitter that Gahey was not pictured in training, and he was heavily strapped after Crystal Palace last game. But there was no mention of it in the press conference. So there's a potential that Gahey could be out, but I have not seen enough to give that information to you, and it wouldn't put me off bringing him in or starting him because I haven't seen enough. Keep or sell St. Maximan? I'd probably lean towards. If he starts this week, he's fine. He's just not a great FPL option. He's so injury prone. Trossard versus Bowen on wildcard. I'd go Trossard. What do I want to do on my team? What do I want to do with my team? I don't know. If someone could show me their team and let me copy, that'd be great. Foden, is Foden as good on the left? No, Foden's from an FPL perspective, Foden's not as good on the left, no. But I think Grealish will start on the left. Here's the tweet. Thank you very much, Marcus. Stop scrolling chat. I'm trying to click. Mr. Mug FPL, is there any chance that you want to give us an update? I mean, not that this should make me trust him less, but I've just clicked on his profile, and the first thing I see is that he says Pinaldo is washed. And I'm not going to lie, anyone that speaks like that on social media, I don't tend to trust as much. Anyone that calls Ronaldo Pinaldo and anyone that says someone's washed, I'm not sure I want to trust too much. But listen, if he's not been pictured in training and he was strapped after the game, maybe that's a concern. But for me, unless we see something else pop up, I'd go ahead with your Gahey starts and transfers and all of that. Maybe just delay them a little bit. Maybe wait to see if we get news. Andreas equals penalties as Mitro is out. I did ask this on social media. Apparently, Andreas has never taken a penalty in his senior career. So probably not. Also, they've got Willian now, and they've got Bobby Decordova-Reid, who can take penalties. So I would say there's a chance, small, like a 1% chance, but he's probably like third. He's probably third in line. Who would you start, Ross? Justin, Mitrovic, or Trent? I have Martinelli starting. If you have Martinelli starting, maybe you back against Trent. I just think benching Trent just seems like madness. I'd like to start all four of those, really. I would start Trent still, but I'd probably say Trent, Mitro, Justin in that order. But I'd like to start all three of them, really. What do you think of Almiron this week? He's okay. He's okay. He's not going to score goals like that every single week. I think he's fine for a cheap option to tick along, but I'm not that keen on him. I won't be transferring him in anytime soon. Any early team news today, Ross? Nothing yet. Nothing yet. We've had very few small murmurings that Gahey's not available, but I'm talking nothing concrete. Outside of that, there's been nothing really. Mitrovic hasn't travelled. That's just not correct. I mean, Fulham haven't even travelled yet. The game's tomorrow. So yeah, that's not true. Ross, don't forget to make your transfers also, or maybe not. Yeah, I need to remember to actually do them. Yeah, I will do. Is this his team? This is my team, but I've got 2 free transfers and I haven't made any transfers yet. Budget defender choice. Would you start Dallo or Saliba? I'd start Dallo this week. You're speaking about Zaha over Bowen, but you say you don't have an easy way to Zaha. Just because I think Zaha is a better option does not mean I think Bowen is a bad enough option to risk that transfer in my team. I think if you were to give me the choice now, I would definitely go Zaha, but that doesn't mean I think Bowen's a bad choice and I don't want to take Bowen out of my team. Hopefully that's clear. Also, Bowen's a gut feeling pick, so I can't recommend Bowen to you because his data's so bad and West Ham's data's so bad, whereas Zaha's actually been pretty decent. So I would go Zaha, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to make that move. I don't want to sell Bowen for Zaha particularly. I like my midfield, to be honest. Can Palace really keep a clean sheet? I think it's possible. I do think that Leeds aren't a team that you would necessarily expect a clean sheet against, although we saw Villa keep a clean sheet against them. So who knows? If I had to guess, I would say Leeds score. But it's at Selhurst Park, so who knows? Mitrovic and Bailey to Zaha and Edouard. I don't hate it, but again, just know that you're losing Mitrovic before 4 really good fixtures. But yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Can we have some news updates? What news updates do you want, AD? Salisu to Mings is definitely an option. Zuma or Martinelli to start? I'd start Martinelli. What are your thoughts on Skamaka? I've spoken about Skamaka throughout the stream. Basically just a rotation risk, so he's not for me. We hit 38,000 subscribers, by the way. And then we gained another 400, apparently. So thank you very much. We're actually only, I'm not going to expect to hit it on this stream, we're only 1,700 subscribers away from 40,000. So if I can politely ask the 2,200 people that are watching, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. It's completely free. If you decide to change your mind later, that's absolutely fine. Drop a subscribe. Check out my content next week. I do 4 pieces of content every single week, and I'd really, really appreciate it. So again, there's no obligation to do so. You can still watch videos without subscribing, but I'd love to hit 40,000 before Game Week 11. That would be so cool. So yeah. I need a wee, but I can't really do a wee live on stream, so I guess I just hold that. Why Martinelli over Zuma? I would just back the attacker most times. Unless it's a very, very terrible fixture for the attacker, I would always back the attacker. And at the moment, Liverpool at home isn't a terrible fixture. What's your take on cheapo defenders with Trippier this season for prime mids and forwards? I have Kane, Jesus, Haaland, KDB, Foden, Martinelli, and Rodrigo. I love it if you've got a wild card in the back pocket or if there's a wild card coming up. Like for 13 to 16 before the World Cup, I don't mind selling all of your expensive defenders and going cheap if you want to. The issue is if you do that, you don't have a wild card coming up or in the back pocket, and all of a sudden, and this will happen at some point this season, Trent, James, Cancelo, etc., all absolutely smash it. You're left in a position where it's virtually impossible to get to even one of them in one transfer. It's going to require 2. If you want to get all of them back in, it's going to require 6, 7, 8 transfers. So I don't like the idea of bidding off all of them unless you've got a wildcard coming up very soon, basically. If I think about my situation, I've kind of done it, right? I've only got James and Cancelo. I've got rid of Trent. So I don't mind that, but I don't think I would want to drop any more. I think I'm happy with the amount of money invested. I think I've got a really nice balanced investment, right? Maybe Kane to a premium midfielder might be slightly better, but I feel like I've got a really nice, solid midfield, a decent defense, and a decent attack. And I feel like that's why the team looks quite nice. You'd get to 40k if you did a Wii on stream. Maybe. That would be quite something, wouldn't it? That would be quite something. Thank you to all of the people that have just said they've subscribed. I appreciate you very much. Kush says, Isak to Wilson or Isak and Bailey to 4.5 and Zaha. 4.3 and Zaha. I would say to Wilson. The reason I say not to Bailey and Zaha, to a 4.3 and Zaha, sorry, is because you've then got an issue in Game Week 12 again. You've got a 4.3 striker in Game Week 12 and they don't play. So it's just giving you another issue for Game Week 12. So I would say go for Wilson, probably, in that situation. Thoughts on Skamaka Punt? Love your channel. Thank you very much for loving the channel. I would say that I don't mind Skamaka, but he's unlikely to get you too many minutes. I think he'll miss a couple of games, and I think he'll only play about 70 minutes when he does. So with the amount of minutes he gets, I don't think I'd go there. Hi, Ross. Thank you for the great content. Thank you very much, FPL chats. I appreciate you. Mitro's dropping in price again tonight, is he? It's a bit annoying, isn't it? Losing 0.2. I wish I could subscribe twice. That's very kind, thank you. What about Bobby Decordova Reed? No one's talking about him. Yeah, you could go there if you wanted to. Is that a wildcard team? This is a Game Week 8 wildcard team. So, yes, I wildcarded before the international break. Isak and Fofana for Edouard and Gahey. Yeah, I don't mind that. I am unsure whether Edouard will start enough games to make that worth it, but I don't mind that, yeah. Raya and Gaeta, Wilson or Tony till 16. I would say Gaeta instead of Raya, and I would say Wilson instead of Tony. So I'm very sorry I would back against both Brentford players. It's just the fixtures is the main reason, to be honest. The fixtures just aren't fantastic. Ross, love the content. If you're ever on holiday in Croatia, drinks are on me. I will bear that in mind. Thank you. I really want to go to Croatia. Whereabouts in Croatia are you? Let me know. Start Mitrovic or bench him for Gross. Thanks. I'm leaning towards starting Mitrovic ahead of most players and just hoping that he's either gets the 90 or that he's benched. Are you locked, Raptor? No, I haven't made my transfers at all. I haven't done anything. So, no, I'm most definitely not locked. I'm the opposite of locked. I'm unlocked. You're in Split, Croatia. Cool. I'll bear that in mind. Thank you very much for the offer, by the way. Oh, how long we got till the deadline? We've got 26 minutes till the deadline. So maybe start just thinking about wrapping up your transfers. I'm going to have to start thinking myself what I want to do. And yeah, don't stress too much. Just make the decision that makes sense to you and just pray that luck and variance is on your side. That's what I've done this season. I've been very lucky. And hopefully the luck continues, basically. And if it doesn't, well, then I enjoyed my week in the limelight at 578. Let's just say that. He is doing Mitrovic to Solanke. There we go. Someone's just told you. Elliot's just told you. Apparently I'm doing Mitrovic to Solanke. Ooh. Start Mitrovic and bench Saliba. Yeah, I would lean that way probably. Is there any more Gahey news? No, I haven't seen it. Literally, apart from that one random person that has said that there's a chance that he's not been in training, I've seen nothing else. So for me, I would just still buy him and start him. That's pretty funny. So I don't know if Jimmy's still in the chat. Jimmy, I think he just posted it for the memes, to be fair. But he's just posted a picture of my stream and said, "Can't wait to see who I'm transferring in this week." Hi Ross, will so foul play? I genuinely don't know. I'd love to. I'd love to answer that question for you because loads of people have the question. I just don't know. I'm afraid I haven't seen any news either way. I would lean towards no because a couple of West Ham fans that I trust seem to think he could be benched. I think the thing is anyway, he plays Liverpool in 12, so you probably don't want him long term. So maybe you sell him anyway or bench him anyway. Walker for who? Gross for Zaha and take a -4 to swap out Diaz for maybe Foden or just keep Diaz. Walker to a Leicester defender or a Palace defender sounds good to me. Yeah, I think Gross to Zaha probably sounds good. Although obviously Gross has a good fixture in 12, but yeah, probably Walker to a Palace or Leicester defender and then Gross to Zaha sounds nice. I have news. There might be more blank game weeks for the King's inauguration in 2023. There we go. We'll worry about that in the future, I guess. Alpha Daddy Raptor burning his transfer this week. That is ultimate Alpha Daddy Raptor, isn't it, if I do that? Justin or Tarkovsky? Justin for the next few, Tarkovsky for 13 onwards. So it depends whether you're looking really long term or specifically over the next few. Show your transfers. Show your transfers. What do you think of Skamaka or even Martial? I think they're both fine. I think they'll both get limited minutes, but when they're on the pitch, they'll do well. I think Edouard, Skamaka, and Martial are three pretty big rotation risks that they, like I said, they will do well for you when you have them, but when they don't, then obviously you run the risk of getting like a 20-minute sub. Just voted for you, Harry and Oscar. Love all your work. You must do a live blog on the night, preferably drunk. Thank you very much, Lee. We will definitely have some drunk footage of us on the Football Content Awards for sure. There's a car alarm going off outside. Fantastic. You're going to lose views if you don't show your transfers. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. That's absolutely fine. I think that, honestly, if people can't think for themselves for 1 week, that's fine. I've been given advice for over 2 hours, and I've been giving my honest opinion. I haven't lied. And this is the thing as well, I should have said at the start of the video. I'm never going to lie to my viewers, and I'm never going to conceal information. What I'm just doing is just not showing all of my moves. But if you ask me a question, I'll give you an honest opinion on who I think is the best. So based off my advice from the last... If you've genuinely been listening to what I've been saying over the last 2 hours, you should have a relatively decent idea of what I'm doing. I'm just not going to exactly show that. I love you, Pappy Raptor. Thank you very much. Just voted for you. Thank you very much for everyone voting. Just a final reminder, if you weren't at the start of the stream, there's a link at the top of the chat, so in the pinned chat, and also in the description. Or just go to, I think it's Football Content Awards /voting. The voting closes tomorrow. I have been nominated for the Best in Fantasy Football. It's just the drop-down menu. All right, so under creators, Best in Fantasy Football, feel free to vote for me. Yes, I am up against the likes of Let's Talk FPL and Black Box, so I'm not expecting miracles here. If I could get third, that would be pretty awesome. I think FPL Tips is in there as well, so it's a pretty competitive category, but fingers crossed. We can at least... Third would be really nice, I think, especially as a fairly new content creator. Like, Andy's been going for years and years. Black Box are obviously ridiculously good with Az and Mark, so yeah, I just appreciate it, but there's no obligation. Hopefully not your car alarm, Ross. I don't have a car, which is good because I get the bus everywhere. Just heard the same car alarm outside my house. Imagine if you live over the road. That'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny. Already voted. Thank you to everyone that's voting. I really appreciate you. You guys are very, very kind. Thank you. Underdog Raptor. Yeah, we are a bit of an underdog. I like that. I like being a bit of an underdog. You are like the nicest guy ever. Thank you. I try my best to be nice. A lot of people a lot of people misinterpret my humor, I guess, on Twitter. A lot of people think that I'm arrogant or self-absorbed. I'm definitely not. I can promise you that from the bottom of my heart. But yeah, I think a lot of people have misinterpreted me over on Twitter this week, which is fine. Those of you that know me well know that I'm not that sort of person. Is this not your updated team? This is a disaster for me. Oh no, Magnus. This is my team before any transfers. I have 2 free transfers. Have you ever been this high in rank? No, I've never been in the top 1k at any point ever. I'm happy to admit that. I think the highest I've ever been is like 4 or 5k in a single week. So no, this is the highest I've been. I've not been playing FPL that long. I've only been playing FPL properly only like about 2 or 3 seasons. So yeah, 578th, absolutely the highest I've been. I feel like I've got a good grasp of FPL though. That's the thing. I might not have been playing as long as some people, but I feel like I've got a good grasp of the game and how it works now. So I feel like I can still give pretty good advice. Show your team. This is my team. What are you on about? This is my team. Yeah, so we've got just over 15 minutes. I would definitely start looking at those, getting your transfers locked in. Ross, if I'd assist, I'd 100% let you take her on a date. Let's get wrapped hitched. Thank you very much, Jacob. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's get wrapped hitched. I like that a lot. We'll talk about the dating situation post deadline if anyone wants to talk about that. Why are there blanks in game week 12? So there's not loads of blanks. It's only City and Arsenal. City and Arsenal blanking in game week 12. Sorry, I think it's pretty funny. You've got half of the chat not caring, and then you've got there's just a few people just absolutely losing it that I'm not showing my transfers. But I would suggest that those are the people that need to make their own decisions. Politely suggest that, maybe. Out of interest, how many moves are you making? I'm making between 0 and 2 moves. We're only here for the dating news, really. I appreciate that, Marcus. I'm only here to talk about my dating as well. Ross, I think you're the love of my life. Thank you. If only people in everyday life spoke to me like that, that'd be great. Start Pope or Ward. I would lean towards Ward if you've got Trippier. The thing is, I can see both conceding. Just trust your gut feel on that one. I think it's fairly close. If you look at like the clean sheet odds and stuff like that, I think it'd be very, very, very close, to be honest. How are you stopping FPL players from copying your team? I'm not going to show my transfers. Simple as that. There we go. People wanted it. People can have it. There we go. There can be no complaints. The thing is, I don't think these sorts of transfers really matter. Like my team, even if I bring in Zaha, if I bring in Solanke, if I make a move on the whatever my move is this week that I do, my team won't differ to people's that much. I think the team that I really need to hide is my World Cup Unlimited Transfers team. So that will be the one that I cover 3, 4, 5 slots on. For now, even if I show you my transfers, like it's not going to change. The majority of the team's going to remain the same, basically. I think. Oh, I don't know why I'm laughing so much. It's pretty funny. There you go. That's my team. There we go. Enjoy. He's selling Haaland. You've just ruined it. I can't believe you just told everyone what I'm doing. Vote for Alpha Daddy Ross in the FCAs right now. Thank you. Oh no, Daddy Raptor's coming back. What's the point of you playing if you just copy someone else? Cash leagues, basically. People, again, illegally. FPL don't even allow it. Illegally enter cash leagues, and then they essentially win a lot of money if they copy content creators that do well. Is Mitrovic fit? I don't know at this stage. I've done my part by voting for you. All the best. Thank you very much. I appreciate you voting. Miguel Almiron or Saka? Definitely Saka. Martinelli to Zaha leaves me with 0.2 in the bank. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I think maybe if I could do Martinelli to Zaha in one move, maybe I would. Hi, happy to see you. Thank you very much. I'm happy to see you as well. Watkins and Zaha. Zaha and Gahey, or Gahey and Watkins. I'm going to sell Diaz, Estepinian and Tony for each position. Help me, please. I like the idea of all of them. Definitely one with Zaha. So let's ignore the last one, Nicola. And then go for probably Zaha and Gahey in for Diaz and Estepinian. Would be my moves out of those. Sorry I joined late. If you've already said it, are you not showing your transfers from now on or just for this game week? I'm not sure yet. Definitely this game week, maybe future game weeks, and then almost definitely the unlimited transfers for the World Cup. I'll cover a couple of spots up. So I'll get a graphic sorted that I'm like Andy does, where I'll just cover a couple of them up. I'm not going to go through it in a lot of... I'm not going to completely hide my team. And I'll still give advice, and I'll still talk about the players that I think are best. And again, if you watch my content throughout that week, it will probably be fairly obvious who I'm putting in my team. All this is going to do is stop those people that are coming in last minute and copying. If you like my content and watch my content, you'll probably know the sort of players I want to pick anyway. Right, I need to make my transfer. Transfer? Who knows? Transfers. Let me make my transfers. Are you showing your team after the deadline? Yeah, I'll show my team 1 second after the deadline. And we'll talk about the transfers that I've made. The team that you can see on screen is my current team, and I've got 2 free transfers. All right. So let's make my transfers now. I can see it in your glasses. Oh no, I do it like that. Would you rather win FPL or get hitched? If I win FPL, I naturally get hitched. What on earth is that question, Jacob? You're telling me FPL Raptor wins FPL. I don't get hitched from that. You're telling me that there isn't someone out there that will go, wow, you won FPL. That's the most attractive thing I've ever seen. You beat 10 million other managers that sit there every week tinkering with their teams. I want to marry you. I can't imagine that someone wouldn't want to. So I'm going to pick win FPL, and I'm going to expect that would naturally mean that I get hitched, essentially. Keep smiling, mate. I wish I could vote for you twice. Thank you. I can't afford Bailey to Zaha. I might do Bailey to Paqueta. Yeah, I still like Paqueta. He's not been as good as we thought he might be with respect to his actual output, but I still think he's a good shout. All right, let's make the moves. Let's make the moves. I hope you can't actually see it in my glasses. I assume that was a joke. If you can, that's pretty funny. That would be pretty hilarious. Let me look at my OBS. Nah, you'd have to have pretty good eyesight there. I haven't even thought about my moves much on this stream. I had an idea of roughly what I was thinking. Let's have a quick look on Twitter to make sure that there's been nothing else before I go ahead and make those moves. People on Twitter are pretty funny with it as well. It's all pretty fun. Listen, this is a game. We're meant to enjoy this game. I think people are getting far too upset and taking it very, very seriously. Let's all have a bit of fun. Let me just captain Salisu, right? Salisu captain, perfect. I'm going to bench Mitrovic and Haaland and Kane. Start Salisu. Excellent. Cool, team sorted. My wife just said she'd divorce me and marry you if you win FPL. That is fantastic, Marcus. I'll bear that in mind. If I win FPL, she better live up to that. Yeah? Perfect. There you go. So there we go. If I win, I've already got a wife. This is fantastic. Just like that. What's the equivalent of a gold digger but with rank? A rank digger? That sounds a bit weird. A gold digger but with rank. Yeah, I'm not sure. How long have we got? We've got 9 minutes. Do I just confirm? I like confirming it with you guys because I get up the transfer and like I look at the chat and I say, is there any reason why I shouldn't do this? I just feel more comfortable. I feel like I'm doing this in private now and I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Let's just go for it. This is funny. Funny times. Funny times. Rank sounds like a disease you pick up from a gold digger. It does, doesn't it? It does. That is absolutely brilliant. I just looked at the dislikes. You guys obviously don't have access to the dislikes on a stream anymore. My stream has significantly more dislikes than usual, which is funny. I will admit that's pretty funny. Sorry guys, I was just confirming my 3 or 4 transfers that I've just made. think I'm all good. All right. So you got 8 minutes till the deadline. Make sure you lock in. A lot of people demanding you show your team. I think doing it in private is the right call. Thank you. I appreciate that. The people disliking the stream obviously think differently, but there we go. Dislikes aren't ranking anymore. Dislikes don't care. The funny thing is with a dislike, which makes it so much funnier, is that YouTube will push out videos that people interact with. So if someone leaves me a horrible comment where they are aggressive or mean about me or my team, or if they dislike, they're actually helping to push my video out to more people. So most of the time I just sit there laughing. If I see someone's disliked a video or if they've put a negative comment, all they're doing is actually just helping push my content out, because YouTube just don't assess it like that. YouTube are thinking, this video is getting interactions. People are talking about this video. People are liking this video, talking about it. It's going to push the video out. People will talk about YouTube more. So that's all YouTube are interested in. So there we go. Yeah, I took a -12. Yeah, I took a -12 this week. Will Anderson start? I think probably yes. Probably yes. I can see the reflection through the glasses. Zaha in for Foden. Oh no. Oh no. Martial or Wilson? I would go Wilson, but Martial's definitely got that explosive ability, doesn't he? For sure. Triple captain Haaland this week. I don't mind it. I think there will be better weeks in the future, especially when City have a double game week. Or maybe Salah will come back into form and we'll triple captain Salah. Who knows? Sad people coming here just to copy. Do they copy the wearing a backwards cap as well? I hope so. You've got to copy the whole thing. If you copy my team, you've got to shave your head, backwards cap. What else? That's pretty much all I'm known for, really. It's a bit of a shame, really. I'm just known as a bald guy with a backwards cap. Really enjoyed seeing you on Green Arrow this week. Thanks for the great content, and I thank you for watching me. Zuma or Martinelli? Come on, Ross, help me out. I would go Martinelli if it was my team. I always tend to back the attackers. What is your league code? It's SV1QTQ. SV1QTQ. And a broken camera, yes. You also need to get an overheating camera. I forgot what word I was looking for there. Bald heads are sexy. There we go. Maybe I'm going wrong by covering it up. Maybe I should get it out and polish it. Give it an extra layer of polish. Do they have to look 20 years older than they are too? That's outrageous, Eddie. Right, you're banned from the channel for life. No, didn't realise you were watching, by the way. Good to see you, my man. Wearing a hat inside. Yes. I mean, there's no issue with wearing a hat inside. Impressive team value, Ross. Focused on building it. It just naturally happened this season because I've had the right players. I don't really focus on building team value too much. I'm going to dress up as Ross for my Halloween party. I live in the US. Everyone will recognize me. If someone recognizes you, that would be pretty amazing. Johnny Sins. No, I'm not Johnny Sins. Get out of here. That nonsense. If you polish it, people will be able to see your transfers in the reflection. Can you imagine trying to hide my unlimited transfers for the World Cup and my polished head just reflects every pick? That'd be fun. Show us your transfers. No, Cheedy. I'm not showing my transfers. Why make videos then complain, moron? I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't laugh. These comments are just fantastic. all I would say, right, in the lead up to the deadline is you don't realize what mean words can do to the wrong person. And I think people this week that have been DMing me, and I won't talk about it a lot, I've had over 100 DMs that are disgusting the way people speak. Just be careful, because I'm very thick-skinned and I'm a very positive person and I'm used to it. But you speak to the wrong person like that online and it can be an absolutely disastrous impact on their life. So just stop. If you don't agree with something, you don't have to say it. Like, you don't have to voice every negative comment that comes into your head. Sometimes I'll look at someone's post or something they've done, and I think I really don't agree with that. You don't have to tell them that. You don't have to be insulting. And if you feel like you do need to raise a point, just do it in a constructive way. Hey, Raptor, I think that the way you're showing your transfers probably isn't the best way. Have you considered doing this? You don't have to say the things that people are saying. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just ridiculous. But that's that. Oh, I need to tweet it. I'm not going to tweet it yet, but I need to get a screenshot before we get like the error page. Can't wait for people to see my differential captain. It's absolutely massive. Huge differential captaincy. By the way, you've got 2 minutes till the deadline. Make sure your teams are locked in ASAP, Rocky. Get them locked in, right? I think that's good to go. I think I'm good to go there. Bench Mitrovic, Martinelli, or Anderson. I would go... I would bench... I'd bench Anderson still just. Sorry, I'm just getting that tweet ready to put out. 2 seconds. Make sure you lock your teams in. I would stop... I take the moron back, but the point still stands. You're still just not being very nice, though, are you? That's the thing. Lol, your poker face is terrible, Ross. I've always got a smirk. I always look like I've done something wrong. I told the barber to give me the Raptor, and he nodded. I love that. Best thing I've heard on an FPL content provider stream. Well said, dude. Thank you very much, Jefferson. I appreciate that. All right, let's get this tweet sorted. You've got to enjoy this game. However you enjoy the game, enjoy the game. And again, keyword being game here. What am I doing? Right, I've got that tweet ready to go. That's pretty funny. Right. Make sure you lock in. Like 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left to lock in your teams. Get them locked in. Some of these comments are extraordinary. They really are, aren't they? They really are extraordinary. You might not do a transfer and that's why you're laughing. Who knows? Let me look at the dislikes. Let's refresh the dislikes. Just keep going up. It's brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Deadline's passed. We're locked. Fantastic stuff. Show us your team now, Shiny. That is just... Why? Why am I getting abused for having a bald head now? Why am I getting abused for having a bald head? All right. Where are we? Right. Now that the deadline's gone... I was never making a particularly interesting transfer. And again, if you've watched my content for a while, you'll know that I was never going to change my team massively. I've said all week, and I've said throughout the stream, I don't think selling Mitrovic makes sense, and I don't think benching Mitrovic makes sense. And I've also said on my team selection video, I don't plan on selling any of my midfield. So based on that, it should be very clear that I'm not selling anyone from my starting 11. I said I could sell Pope, but again, I don't think this is necessarily the week to do it. So what I've done is... Salisu to Castagna is the move. I could have gone Justin. Obviously, Castagna is 0.1 million more. I just like him for this run here. The big decision for me, which was the one I was sort of toing and froing with, is basically who to put first sub between Castagna and Mark Gahey. I don't know who I back more, Leicester clean sheet or Palace clean sheet. I think it's quite close, and I just think Castagne's got a higher goal threat than Mark Gahey. So if Mitrovic misses out, I get Castagne from the bench. So that's the move. So let's see. I think I'm happy with that. I think it's fine, and I didn't want to take out Mitrovic. I wanted Zaha, yes. I didn't want to take out Mitrovic though. There we go. What do we think? What do we think? I think a lot of people would have done Salisu to Justin, because I did talk about that quite a lot. I think Castagne was just... last night, I just started thinking that Castagne's goal threat's quite a bit higher. It might be worth the extra bit of... moolah. The extra bit of moolah. Right. Go rack up the likes on this tweet, by the way. There's my team selection reveal on Twitter. God, my stream just almost crashed then. Okay, people are generally very positive. I do appreciate it. It's not a particularly exciting move. I don't think at my rank with my team I need to be moving my team around. I don't think it's necessary. And yeah, let's just leave it at that. I think it's fine. Again, I'm not necessarily gonna do it on every single stream. It will probably mainly be the unlimited transfers over the World Cup and stuff like that. But I appreciate all the support and the people that have been very nice about it. So this is the best part of the stream. Definitely don't leave now. We talk about all sorts of stuff. So please feel free to stay. We'll talk about my love life if you want to. We'll talk about anything that you guys are interested in. I'm more than happy to talk about whatever. Yes, I wanted... So the two players that I wanted this week were for Wilson and Zaha. Right, so I would love Wilson. I'd love Zaha. But unfortunately, I didn't go for it. I just think my starting 11's fine. I don't think I need to rush any of the players out of my team, basically. Right. Do you have a girlfriend? Let's talk about the dating situation, right? So, basically, I was in a long-term relationship until November last year. I broke up with my partner, and so I've been single since then. I've not been particularly interested, right? I've got a very happy life. I enjoy. By the way, to everyone leaving, I don't expect you to want to stay if you don't want to listen to this. That's fine. I'm a very busy man, right? I'm a lecturer. I'm a PhD student. I go to the gym 6 times a week. I obviously live by myself, so I have to do cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping all by myself. And obviously YouTube on top of that, and Twitter and Discord and TikTok and Instagram. Like, I run several channels. I do all of the editing myself. So like, I probably spend like 90 hours a week plus working, plus the gym most evening. Like, I don't have much time for a partner anyway. But recently, loads of people were pressuring me to download dating apps, right? So I've downloaded Tinder and Hinge and all that sort of stuff. And I just think it should be a bit of fun again. Like, it shouldn't be... Like, I'm not in a situation now where I'm desperate to be in a relationship. So I've just been treating it as a bit of fun. But I post about it often on Twitter, and I joke that I'm going to put like my live rank in my Tinder bio. But no, it's not been going overly well. I've not particularly been enjoying the dating apps particularly. I think it's very shallow. Like, if you ever known in life, like most of you probably would, there's some people that are just so attractive because of their personality and because they're kind or funny or they've got a nice smile, and you can't capture some of that on dating apps. So I've struggled slightly with that aspect, that I just feel like I'm shallowly liking people based on how they look, or disliking based on how they don't look. So yeah, there we go. So basically, non-existent is my dating life at the moment. I saw someone just said that I'm married to the game. That's pretty funny. Raptor, is there a link to your Twitter? There is. Here we go. There's the link to my Twitter. I love your smile. Thank you I really do appreciate it. That's very kind of you to say. How many years were you together? I was with my ex for 6 years. So a long time. A long time. So I met her when I was 18 and we broke up when I was 24. He's finally out of the closet, lads. Am I? Don't remember doing that. No, I am. I do get a lot of questions about that. If anyone's interested, I am straight. Not that it particularly matters for content creation, but I do get a lot of questions. Maybe I give off a certain impression. I don't know. Show us some muscles. Do I? No, I'm not going to tense on stream. I'm not that vain. But yeah. What uni do you lecture at? I lecture at Nottingham Trent University, and I lecture in sports psychology. What age are you? I'm 25 years old, believe it or not. Even though I look like I'm 400. I am 25 years old. Mahrez starts. So that's Foden on the left or Foden benched. That could be a disaster. That could be a real disaster. So you love yourself more than a girl? Absolutely. Damn right. That's what I've realized over the last year. That's what I preach. It's not about arrogance. It's not about being self-absorbed, but you've got to learn to love yourself and you've got to learn to enjoy spending time by yourself. If you constantly rely on other people for your happiness, you'll never be happy. Like if you're constantly searching for that external validation, obviously like playing FPL makes me happy and seeing friends makes me happy. But if that true happiness doesn't come from within, that's an issue that I think you need to address. Like I love sitting here by myself in the evening, watching a video, eating dinner by myself. I enjoy that, and I think that's a good position to be in. Ross is a jock. He's going to steal your woman with his rank. Some of these comments I can't even read out. They're absolutely outrageous. Sorry, where am I? But people on Tinder tend to be kind of strange. I think the guys definitely are, a lot of them. Ross, be careful about putting out your rank in your Tinder bio as it will attract clout chasers. This is true. Like, if they don't want to be with me when I'm ranked 100k, and I don't want them at all. Ross, you've spoken about the psychology of FPL. How about the psychology of an FPL content creator? Would love to see a video on that. Do you know what? Maybe one day I will. That's quite a good video idea, for sure. I met my fiance on Tinder, getting married in 3 weeks. That is awesome, Alan. I love to hear that. Hopefully I'll have that kind of luck at some point. Why did you break up, champ? Let's just say it wasn't my decision, but it was long distance was the main reason, I guess. The main question is, who could have possibly said no to Daddy Ross? Bloody everyone. Everyone. Everyone that's not involved in FPL, basically. Any chance you'll... Oh, my voice just went. Any chance you'll pair up with a math lecturer who loves FPL as much as you for a video? Is that yourself, William, by any chance? Maybe we'll do some collabs at some point with some different people. I did A-level psychology. Is psychology at university good? Well, I did a bachelor's in psychology. I did a master's in sports psychology, and I'm doing a PhD in sports psychology. So, yes, I love psychology. It's definitely worth doing. You are wise, Ross. Hard to socialize through an app. Yeah, I do struggle a little bit. I feel like I'm better in person. / on live stream, basically. Rather than through text. So, yeah, so everyone's saying Mahrez starts, which basically means Foden's on the left or is benched, which obviously wouldn't be ideal, but let's see what happens. What sources do you use for your data? I use Fantasy Football Hub. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out. What's my workout routine? It's 5 or 6 times a week, and it's push, pull, legs. Pretty simple. So push, pull, and legs get done roughly twice a week. Sometimes twice every 10 days if I'm slightly over. Met my girl on a dating app 10 months in now. That is fantastic. Ross, I'm not gay, but there we go. I've just got an offer. I've got at least one offer from the live stream. You are too normal for Tinder. Fantastic. Do you miss her? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, of course I do. I think you miss anyone when you break up. I wish to grow a beard like the one Ross's one day. My beard's okay. It's not particularly patchy, at least. The thing is, I get a really hairy neck, so my beard would overwhelm. I've also got a really wide neck, but yeah, my beard would overwhelm my face if I didn't shave it. What do you think about getting Rodrigo? I don't mind that at some point, but yeah. God, there are so many questions. So many questions. Ross, my father, the more you speak, the more I question my sexuality. Long distance is the worst. Long distance is the worst for sure. Daddy or father, Mr. Ross? We can go with whatever you want. Call me whatever you want. First rule of Tinder, be attractive. Second rule of Tinder, be attractive in one's photos. The photo that I use for Tinder is... I'll show you my... This is the tweet I put out the other day. Where is it? Sorry, we're just chatting about nonsense, but if you don't want to be here, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Where's the... if I go into media... It's a bit zoomed in, but, you know, it's not a bad picture. It's that picture, basically. I don't know where they got that picture. I think they stole it from my Tinder, apparently. It's this one. Why do I tweet this much? There's no way I tweet this much. Oh, there it is. I changed my bio very temporarily. It's not actually my bio because I would like to actually meet someone. I changed it to 578th in the world in FPL. I know it's hot, but that's my profile. I won't show you my entire profile. But I don't think it's a bad picture. I'm not particularly attractive. I know that. But it's not a bad picture. It's probably because I'm bald as well. I know a lot of girls really don't like bald guys. And I've got like round glass. It's a very accustomed taste, my face, I think. Right, what am I talking about now? Foden's benched. I hope... That might be the funniest comment I've ever read on a live stream. Why did you share? Someone just typed, I accidentally farted, but love your content. Like, what's the correlation between you farting and loving my... I appreciate loving my content, and I appreciate you sharing with me that you've just farted. That's great. Where do you live? What university? I live in Nottingham. Ross, you seem to be British accent-wise. What got you to the States? I've never been to the States. I live in Nottingham. I've never been to the US. Do you not do any cardio? No, I'm bulking at the moment. I've put on 5 kilos. I'm not bulking. Sorry, it's so funny. What a funny comment. Foden starts on the left. Is that true? We'll find out soon. Giga Chad photo, Ross. Thank you. Bald is the new black. I like it. Bald is the way forward. You look like a wee emoji. Yeah, I do look a bit like a wee emoji. I rate that. Yeah. It looks like you're coming back. You're coming to lick the camera further back, baby. Looks like I'm going to lick the camera. That's pretty funny. Where is it? It is a bit zoomed in. It's just I thought it was quite a nice photo, and I just can't be bothered to take any more photos. But yeah, it is a bit close to the camera, isn't it? Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm scaring people off. Maybe I need a zoomed out photo. I reckon I just put my overall rank. Maybe I just don't have photos of myself. Maybe that's the way forward. What's everyone saying about my team? Twitter's been like breaking my... It's going to sound like a really bad, humble brag. But no, when you get a certain amount of notifications, Twitter actually really struggles. Over the last couple of days, it keeps crashing. I don't know why that is. Right, what's everyone saying? What sort of comments are we getting on the team? When Castagna is suddenly 50% owned in 2 weeks. That's pretty funny. Great stream as always. Thank you, FPL River. Fun stream. Naughty. Good luck, Ross. Thank you. Where's Che Adams? You lied to us. Nice subtle move. Thank you. There's lots of nice comments. I know a lot of people will be hoping that I fail, which is fine. It's part and parcel of being towards the top, which is all good. Lol, these comments are killing me. Honestly, you guys are so funny in the chat. You crack me up. The post deadline part of the stream is just too funny. It's just too funny. Why do you say you're not attractive? I think you are. That's really kind. Thank you. I've been someone that my whole life I've been very lucky that I'm very self-assured with most elements of my life. Like, I'm very comfortable, like confident speaking in public. I'm confident with my personality. I'm confident with where I can see my life heading. As you can probably tell, like speaking to, I'm a very self-assured person with everything apart from the way I look. In which case, I'm the opposite of self-confident. So I'm very self-conscious and I lack confidence with the way I look. But I'm very lucky that I don't lack confidence with other elements of my life, basically. So yeah, that's the reason. And that's not attention seeking. Again, I don't say that for attention. I say that because that's the truth. Do you have the number of females who watch your videos? Yeah, it's actually increased recently. Is it because of the rank? Who knows? It's up at 2.5% of females. So 97.5% are males. You're so spot on about taking charge and being responsible for your own happiness. It's a personal mantra. I love to hear that. Sorry, there are a lot of comments. There are a lot of people that have decided to stay in the stream today. So I'm trying to get just random ones done. How much do you bench? My PB is 95 kilos. What's that in pounds for anyone that does pounds? I'm not that strong. The thing is, I'm very light person. I only weigh 75 kilos. It's 209 pounds. So 95 kilos, 209 pounds is my bench. Ross, do you consider yourself optimistic or realistic? I am a realist, but I am optimistic as well about the things that I want to achieve. If I want to achieve something, I will achieve it. That's my viewpoint on it. But around most elements of life, I'm a fairly realistic person as well. But yeah, I'm always a very confident person, optimistic about the things that I want to achieve. Still got 1,600 in the stream. Raptors killing it. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. We do this every Saturday, basically. We stream before the deadline for like 2 hours. We stream after. It's a really nice community we've got here on YouTube. It really is. It really is. How tall are you? I'm just shy of 5'10". So let's say 5'9", but I'm slightly taller than... I'm slightly taller than 5'9". What are these comments? Has anyone in the chat not just farted? What, is everyone farting? I don't understand why. It better not be something to do with my content. I only started watching a month ago, to be fair. Oh, Jen, there you go. There's one of the 2.5%. Welcome to the channel, Jen. I appreciate you. Can people stop saying Foden's bench? That's certainly not going to make me feel any better about the situation. Are you insecure because you're bald? It definitely contributes, but I feel more confident now that I'm bald. But yeah, it contributes because so many girls say they don't like bald guys and that guy's attractive because of his hair. And I'm just sat here like a hard-boiled egg. Someone's like, oh, that guy's got really attractive hair. And I'm just sat here with a big old shiny potato head. Then, of course, obviously that's not gonna help. I'm here to tell you you're cute as hell, Ross. Thank you very much, Claudette. I appreciate you. I appreciate that a lot. Ross, you are going to hit 100k subs before the season ends. I do not think that in a million years, but thank you. I appreciate the sort of vote of confidence. You haven't spoken about needing a pee lately. Did that problem resolve itself? Yeah, I'm just wearing a nappy. I'm focusing on the chat. So if we can not talk about the fact that I need a wee. If you're below 6 foot, you're short, bro. Fair enough. The average height for a UK man is 5'9". So I'm like that much taller than the average man. Right, these comments are getting out of control, some of you. Some of you need to be banned from the channel. Being bald is a sign of fertility, is it? There we go. Should I make that my new Tinder bio? 578th in the world, being bald is a sign of fertility. I can't imagine that not going well. Yeah, apparently Foden is benched, everyone's saying. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, it's not great, but there's not a lot you can do, I guess. We'll see the actual lineup in 10 minutes for Foden. Ross, what colour is your Bugatti? I hope you didn't say I just look like Andrew Tate. I mean, he's not a bad-looking guy. He's just a bit of an idiot, isn't he? Sometimes. Being tall is not good. Hard to dribble the ball. There we go. Lots of ladies play FPL. I'm in Canada. I love bald heads, and I'm 5'2". There we go, Claudette. Love to hear that. I feel like I need to get the bald head out. The issue is there'll be a red mark on my forehead from where my cap's been. There we go. Oh, okay. It's not actually that bad. There's my big bald head. Welcome to... If no one's seen the bald head before, there it is. I'll leave it out for a second. Let's embrace the baldness, seeing as that's what we're sort of talking about here at the moment. Someone's just commented, unleashed. Unleashed. Average height. Compare yourself to all of the pensioners zimmering around. Oh, so funny. Just say you're follically challenged. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Follically challenged. Interesting. What did your hair look like before? It was like really thin and it was like sweeping to the side slightly. And it used to like cover up like the receding hair and a bit of bald. And it used to look horrible. It was horrible. If I flirted with you any more than I already do, I'd be arrested. You're fine, gay. Absolutely fine. No worries. FPL team is your profile pick, guaranteed matches. Maybe. I like all the kind words about the bald head. Thank you. Head reveal. Your comedy is underrated. Thank you. I don't think I'm that funny of a guy. I think I'm a positive guy, which I think that's contagious when someone smiles a lot and they're positive. Cover it up, weirdo. You're not helping with the confidence. Whoever just said cover it up, weirdo. I'm lucky that I've got an okay shaped head, I guess. It's not a particularly ugly shaped head, which is good. But yeah, there we go. Oh, I've been sat down for way too long today. Looks better without the hat. Embrace it. Confidence is everything. There we go. Hello, Eric Ten Hag. Walter White. So in the space of 4 messages, I've had Ten Hag, Walter White, or Andrew Tate. Ross Baldhead is his Bugatti. How does he say it? Bugatti. If you reach 100k subs, you will have enough money to have a hair transplant. To be fair, someone did ask this. I wouldn't do it. I've just embraced it as part of me. Like, it's an aspect of my personality and my body that I've been given. So, what's your ethnicity? Extremely white British. What moves did you make? I did Salisu to Castagna, and I rolled the second free transfer. Where did your baldness start from? About 16, 17, unfortunately. Oh, sorry. The beard really compensates everything. Yeah, I am lucky I've got a beard. Otherwise, it would just be full up bald. How old are you, if I may? I'm 25 years old. The bald head doesn't help. If I put this back on, then I'll look more like I'm 25. But yeah. Can I stroke it? Go for it. Have a little stroke if you want. What a weird deadline stream this has been. Hiding my transfers. People talking about farting on my bald head. These streams get a little bit out of control, don't they? All the stress from FPL made you bald. Yeah, the first season I was playing FPL, I actually had an afro. And now I'm bald. That's what FPL does to you. So FPL at your own risk if you want to lose your hair. Evil Pep. Do you slap your head? It makes a really nice noise. One sec. Yes. Yeah, I slap my head. Absolutely. Absolutely. Where did all the trolls come from? Trolls. Some of these are just people being funny. Some, unfortunately, there are also just people that love to just troll and be rude. It always happens. The best way to deal with trolls in life, guys, as someone that receives a fair amount of hate, as you can imagine, as someone that puts themselves out there in public, is laugh at them. There's nothing a troll hates more than when they can see that their negative words haven't affected you negatively. This goes for in person. This goes if you're streaming. This goes for on social media. Just reply like, thank you so much. Or just reply with loads of laughing faces. Honestly, what a troll wants is they want to either get a big reaction from you, or they want to see you upset. Either way, it's pretty sad, but just laugh at them. Even if inside it hurts, go deal with that yourself. Never show a troll how much they've upset you. And to be honest, once you laugh at them a few times, they stop. They stop laughing at you. Ross, will you be doing World Cup content? I absolutely will be doing World Cup content, for sure. Next, you take the glasses off. I don't like taking my glasses off on stream. I take them off all the time, but on stream, my face just looks weird without glasses, so I'm not going to do that. If I hit 100,000 subscribers this season, I'll do it. Do you read every comment or only your super chats? It gets pretty difficult. Like today, when I had 3,000 people in the stream, it can get really tricky to read all of the comments outside the super chats. But I feel like I can't ignore a super chat. If someone's donated money to my channel, it feels rude to not. But I do answer questions outside the super chats, yeah. Best stream so far, no lie. I genuinely love you. You're so mature, optimistic, and down to earth. You guys are making me feel much better about the fact that apparently Foden's benched. No, but thank you for all of the kind words. Honestly, this doesn't just go for me. Just spread this kind of positivity to other people. Like, I it takes you 2 seconds to say a nice thing to someone online, and you like I said, it's the opposite of a negative comment. Like when you leave a negative comment to someone, it can ruin their week. Some people have literally gone to the ends of the earth, like literally committed suicide because of negative comments online. So you don't know what your negative words are doing to people, but equally you don't know what your positive words are doing. Just by saying to someone, "You look good," or like "Fantastic job with your transfers. Have a great game week," even if it's not about them, it can mean so much to them. So yeah, I would definitely, if you can, be nice to anyone that you can online. What do you think of Mark Goldbridge? He's fine. I don't like watching him, but I don't have an issue with him. I thought you were 45 years old. No, I'm 25 years old. Don't think I've laughed this much in the live stream. Awesome. Love to hear it. The baldness and the beard makes you look like a Viking. I like that a lot. What's your hat game like? Are you into other head attire? I'll wear beanies throughout the winter. So the cap will be replaced soon for a beanie. I don't know if I'll wear a beanie in stream. That looks a bit weird. Slap head was the peak of this stream. Did you guys enjoy the slapping of the head? Maybe I'll do it again. Do you oil up your head and pretend you're a slug? What a comment that is. Oh, I don't think I've ever... Oh, sorry. That genuinely might... Yeah, that might be equal to the farting comment that just, do you oil up your head and pretend you're a slug? I'm going to have to remember that one. That's funny. Yes, all the time. Slither along the floor on my head. Whew. Whew. Are you into gaming? Would you ever do Twitch streaming? Maybe. My internet's not very good. As soon as I start gaming and trying to stream, it would just close down, so maybe not. I'm not running a poll to see how many people have farted since I've started streaming. It's not going to happen. Going to get demonetized. Have you got a photo of you with hair? Yeah, I'll put it up at some point. I won't get one now. What about tattoos? I'm not a big tattoo kind of person myself. I don't hate them on other people. They're actually fine, but not myself. You're a good egg, Ross. I assume that's a play on my bald head, but thank you. I ain't gay, but you're hot. I can see the shine on your head. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You're all hyping me up. Bro is 25 but looks 45. Bro looks like he's had a tough paper round. I won't deny it. I know I look a lot older than I am. That's absolutely fine. Men specifically can carry compliments for months and years. So, yeah, honestly, like you don't like all of the compliments you've given me today. It will genuinely lift me up today. So if you don't have to just compliment me, compliment people around you. Ross, you're much better without the cap. There we go. Thank you. How's the PhD going? Yeah, it's going well. Thank you very much. Let's get the team news up. Loads of people have been saying Foden's benched, but I've not really looked into it very much. So you could well be right. I hope you're not, to be honest. I hope you're not, but we'll see. Thank you for all the kind words, everyone. Oh my God, the slug comment has just killed me. Cancelled for farting, lol. You've got a head like a gobstopper. Can you guys stop it? You've got a head like a gobstopper. Jesus Christ. Right, Man City. Please say Foden's not actually benched. Please, God, please don't bench Foden. Foden starts, thank the Lord. De Bruyne, Foden, Haaland, Cancelo start. This is why I said don't go for Gomez. Gomez has been benched. Right? Gomez has been benched. This is why I was saying don't go for Gomez, because I thought there was a very good chance that Ake started at left back. Right? So we'll go back to some of the other chat in a second. We'll just get the team news out of the way. So who are the other teams playing at 3 that we might want team news from? Who are the other teams we might want? Why can't I remember any of the teams playing at 3? Leicester play at 3. I don't know why Leicester's thing doesn't come up when you type in Leicester. Right. Castagna, Justin, Barnes, Maddison. Vardy doesn't start. Daka does. So if you went for a Daka punt, that could be huge. James is benched. Ouch. Ouch, that hurts a little bit. That hurts a little bit. Was not expecting that. Who starts in James's position then? Azpilicueta, Chalobah, Koulibaly, Cucurella, Loftus-Cheek. Is it Loftus-Cheek at right wing back? Or is that a back 4? Is that a back 4 or is that Loftus-Cheek at right wing back? I don't know. Or is it Pulisic at right wing back? Could be Pulisic at right wing back. Aubameyang's benched as well. And Chilwell. Cool, that is absolute... That's madness. That's Potter being Potter, isn't it? Benching James, Aubameyang, and Chilwell. And Sterling. I've just seen Sterling's bench as well. What the hell? Wow. Most people are saying back... most people are saying Loftus-Cheek right wing back. I cannot believe James has been benched. James, Sterling, Aubameyang, and Chilwell on the bench. That's a massive... Wowzer. Who else do we want to check? Fitness, maybe fitness, but maybe fitness for Aubameyang, but surely Sterling, Chilwell, and well, maybe Chilwell as well. But Sterling and Reece James, I've got no idea. Oh my God, someone's just said I've got Sterling, Aubameyang, and Reece James in FPL. Oh, my camera's just gone off. Oh, do you know what that means? It basically means it's died. That means my battery's gone on my camera. I have got it plugged in, but it charges slower than it lasts. So that's probably that for my face, unfortunately. What other teams, guys? Are there any other teams we're interested in? For 3 PMs. Newcastle, yeah, let's go Newcastle. I mean, assume it's Callum Wilson starting and Isak's not there. So for Brentford, Tony starts, Mbeumo starts, Raya starts. That's pretty much it, isn't it, for who people own? Callum Wilson, Isak's not involved at all, as we expected, right? Kieran Trippier starts, Pope starts. So there's not much of a surprise in those two. Get this man to 100k, needs to buy a new camera. Yeah, please do. Please do subscribe. What is wrong with Potter? Yeah, I know. Potter's gone insane, hasn't he? Arsenal. Arsenal aren't playing at 3, are they? They're not playing at 3. West Ham. Oh, yeah. Is West Ham playing at 3? I really have forgotten who the 3 PM kickoffs are. No, West Ham aren't playing at 3. I think they're playing tomorrow. I don't know. Like, that is shocking with Chelsea, you know? Like, some of the other... Madness. The good thing is most of us own James anyway. A lot of us don't, but most of us do. I just hope James doesn't come on. Because if James doesn't come on... Let's go back to my team quick. If James doesn't come on... I have to just hide my camera quick. If James doesn't come on, I'll get Castagna for Mitrovic and Guéhi for James. And I was really worried about benching Castagna and Guéhi. So if I can get both of them off the bench, I'd be delighted. Fingers crossed. I'm almost certain, though, James will come off the bench. Like, I'm almost certain. I don't see a world in which he doesn't. Yeah, it's not ideal, to be honest. Foden probably playing on the left. James benched. Not great. Costa starts for Wolves. Does he? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the Wolves lineup. Oh, why are they revealing their 11 like that? Like, no one wants to see that. It's just a waste of your graphic designer's time. Just show me the starting 11 at the end. Okay, no massive surprises there. I think that's pretty much what we expected, to be honest. But yeah, Costa starting's cool. Might become an option at some point, for sure. For sure. Right, guys, I'm going to call it there because we've been streaming for over 3 hours. But I do appreciate you being here. If you enjoy these live streams, tune into the next one. And also tune into the content throughout the week. The content's a little bit more professional than this live stream. But let me see if I can get my camera back for this, just to say goodbye to you guys. It might have just had that little bit of charge. A little bit of charge required. There I am. There's the big old bald head. Yeah, thank you very much for being here. Make sure to tune into the content next week. There'll be 4 pieces of content as per usual. There'll be a deadline stream as well. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It's been a good one. So thank you for the support. Fingers crossed my rank goes up. If it goes down, we'll laugh about it and we'll talk about it on the upcoming videos. And it'll be a part of FPL, I guess. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, little slap on the head. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers. Bye-bye.